Hello and welcome to the Big League. As always, Connor Somerville joined by Aiden Silliphant, and we're coming off the back of absolutely nothing happening on Thursday night. We refuse to accept what happened last night, but we will get into it eventually. However, before we do that, Aiden, I'll ask how you are, but before I do that, our guest this week is Kayla Rozmus. We've mentioned her a few times on the podcast, one of the very talented graphics people in this program, and we'll dive into everything she's done in the industry. But first of all, how are you two doing on this Friday afternoon where it's like 29, 30 degrees out? It's just completely different than what was last week, but Canadian weather. How are you two doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much again for having me on. I feel like that intro, hyped me up just a little too much. I don't know, but I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
We're glad to have you. And yeah, Connor, I'm doing good. We will get into what happened last night a little bit later, so my mood might change towards the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
But so far, right now, at this moment, I'm doing good, and I'm excited for this episode.
Good to hear. Still jealous of you having had a haircut, but we won't get into that. He got it before the pandemic because he's not Toronto. And
we don't have to get into this every single show.
Yes, we do, because I need a haircut so damn bad. You can see it starting to curl. It's terrible.
Yeah, you're getting like that hockey flow.
Yeah, exactly. Like Marner, look at Marner and Matthews' hair right now.
No, not good.
My hair's getting long. Like
I normally have like a number 3.
Like
the back of my head and sides are normally like a number 3.
Number 3. And that's pretty long. Number 3.
A 3?
Yeah, I get 1 on the sides normally.
Okay. Well, let's not do that.
Instead, I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah, you do it. Yeah. It's good. Don't worry. We start off with a question we always like to ask because it makes our guests squirm and it's quite fun watching them try to think. But what is your first memory of sports? And what is your first memory of sport media?
Very good question. I'll try not to squirm, but my very first memory of sports is probably, I was an athlete growing up, right? So I did basically every sport. My first memory is probably gymnastics at 4 or 5 years old. But I also did soccer around that age as well. I did tennis, dance, swimming. So yeah, those are probably like my first kind of memories of sport, just kind of, having fun, being active. But sport media, I guess kind of cliche, like Hockey Night in Canada, like Saturday night. Also, the 2010 Sidney Crosby goal, have to drop that in. Yeah, those are probably my 2 kind of earliest memories of just sport media.
I got to ask, how did you get into gymnastics? Was that something that you seemed interested in from a young age? Is that something your parents kind of just got you into just to try out different things when you were younger? How did that come about?
Yeah, I can't really pinpoint exactly when it started, if it was my kind of interest. Whenever I think about, I feel like I've talked about this topic a lot, and I always kind of struggle with how I felt about the sport, or even how I kind of got into it. But I definitely, looking back, I definitely do think it was more of my parents wanted me to do it. I have vivid just feelings of just how I constantly felt like I was being forced into doing it. But in terms yeah, I definitely, I don't know if it was more so I wanted to go into that sport kind of growing up, but kind of later on, or even after I finished, I did have an interest in towards doing it. Soccer was definitely my sport growing up. That was the one I was really interested in. I loved going to games and practices and all that.
What was the highest level you got to?
Soccer or gymnastics?
Soccer.
I did rep. I know there's different levels, right? Or divisions. Yeah. I wasn't that high. I wasn't that high. I was probably the lowest one, or mid-tier. Yeah.
Okay, lowest tier would be house league.
Okay. Okay. Not house.
That was me
I did house
when
league.
I was 6
that was
and
me
7 years
for my
old.
entire life.
I did rep, but I swear there's division 1, or isn't there even in competitive soccer there's different
probably
levels? Am I wrong? I think
yeah. So there's rep, and then there's academy, which is where you're a part of an academy in Ontario, and it's very complicated in Ontario because you can be part of Toronto FC's academy, but in certain parts of Ontario, you're actually not part of Toronto FC, and you're technically would have to go to Vancouver Whitecaps Academy. Then there's Ontario. It's very, very complicated, which is probably good that you avoided that. Although I don't think they have women's academies because no women's soccer teams in Canada.
No, I did house league, but I also did like rep soccer kind of at the same time. Yeah, I don't want to say I was like good. I wasn't terrible, but was definitely not good enough to be going to like academy or whatnot. And definitely like kind of later on when I was playing soccer, like girls don't really stay in soccer or those team sports, right? So the team kind of disbanded at that time, and I kind of just had to quit basically.
So I guess gymnastics was like your number one then over soccer. So like, or was it, or am I wrong? Or
like in terms of commitment wise, or like how I felt about the sport.
I guess
commitment
both. I
wise,
guess like
yeah. Well, in my head, I always preferred soccer. I enjoyed it. I liked being aggressive. And I played house league. I mentioned this, played house league and competitive, right? And in house league, I had this one coach and he absolutely like loved me. I had him like every year, and he would always put me in like center back so that I could yell at everybody on my team and basically like tell them what to do. Like I was essentially I was that person. Like I was so extra.
the captain.
So I mean, hey, but I'm sorry.
Tell me the captain without telling me you're the captain.
I just really enjoyed it. Yeah, I liked, yelling at people, being assertive, and like being kind of aggressive. With gymnastics, definitely it was more of like the sport I was more committed to, I guess, in a sense, just because I was skipping school to go to this. I was spending like 5 days out of the week going to gymnastics. It was like a whole year thing. Like even in the summer, I was doing it every day. Like I literally had no social life. Like when I say I had no social life, like I literally didn't. I was doing gymnastics 5 days out of the week for 4.5, 5 hours since I was in grade 1 up until high school. And then on my days off, I did soccer, but I did my house league soccer, and then I also did competitive soccer. So like I literally had no life. Like
wow,
yeah.
Pretty busy.
And you did a documentary on that too, right?
Yeah. So I did in high school, I did like a short film kind of, it was a project, it was basically like this narrative project where we had to kind of like share something personal about us, and basically it's like a narration and you just kind of do like a video portion, whatever. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of do it about my gymnastics career. So especially because I'm not really someone that kind of talks about those emotions like the way that I felt about gymnastics in terms of that like love-hate relationship. Like I never expressed that to anybody. Like maybe I gave kind of signs to my family that I didn't like it, but they still kind of made me go. But my friends absolutely no idea. My coaches and my teammates, no way would I ever mention how much I hated that sport or hated going.
Wow.
They like when I released that, I think I posted on Facebook, like I was terrified for them to see, because I always portrayed myself when I was there. Like I loved the sport, like always happy. Like you're never going to see me there, like upset, so to say. Like I'd be there and I really portray that I was super happy to be there. I loved it, like love my friends, whatever. So yeah, like I did this documentary on that, or sorry, short film on that, just kind of explaining my feelings, I guess, and kind of like a creative writing, I guess, almost like poetry type format, in the way that it kind of flowed. And it actually my teacher had suggested us sending it into like a community film festival, and it got chosen. And then I think we showed it to like some school or something, and I was there. It was like kind of weird, but it was cool. It was really cool.
What did you find the feedback was like from putting out a very personal story? How did you sort of find receiving that feedback, and what was sort of the vibe of people's first reactions to it?
People were very supportive. Like, I mean, I don't really think I doubted that people would be like, why would you post this? Like, what is this? Like, or like, I didn't know you felt like it was very like supportive. People were like, oh my gosh, like this is so great. Like, I love to see this. It's great kind of hearing your story. I even had like coaches like respond. And that was like the most terrifying thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't want them to watch this. But even they like responded and were like, wow, like we love this. Like, thanks so much for sharing, like, your feelings towards it and whatnot. It was really nice.
I gotta watch this short film. I haven't seen it yet. Do you see it, Connor?
It's on
I didn't
Facebook.
watch it. Is it on your YouTube too?
I don't think I posted it on YouTube. I know it's on Facebook for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Every
I'll
now and
check it
then I
out.
think I think I like reshare it or something.
So wait, was
But
this
Yeah.
yeah.
for like a class, or was this for something that you just did on the side?
It was for my class. So it
Okay.
was I had a comm tech class, so communications technology, right?
Yep.
And we did that class in and of itself was some of those projects, but the one I was most proud of was this one. And yeah, so yeah, so I don't know what else to say about that. But yeah, it was for that class and
Okay.
one of my favorite classes for sure.
Yeah,
All right.
that's a big class. Like we've heard that name mentioned from a couple of students.
Hmm.
Communication technology. I took a ComTech class in grades 11 and 12. I think that's a big part of how some people got into the program
For
itself.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
What other kind of stuff did they have you doing in that class? Was it mostly like Premiere stuff, or was it like Photoshop, or
Everything
yeah?
basically. So um we learned about like InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator. We did like all different projects based on that. It also was like a lot of film, so or filming, I guess. So we also learned how to use like Premiere. We did different styles of filming, I guess. So we did like the documentary, the short film narration that I mentioned. We did a one shot like music video, which
One
one
shot?
one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done in my life because me and my group of friends, so for the group for that, it was like 3 people and me and my friends did it and they were like the types of people to like not to like be I guess kind of shy to be in front of the camera and I'm just like, "Okay, you know what? I'll take the bullet. I'll do it." So every project in that class, it's me on camera, and this one in specific, like it is just it's so I cringe every time I see it. But it's like a really cool project 'cause it's like one shot, like, the camera's just, you have to you have to creatively think of different ways to kind of move the camera so that you can transition to different things and different scenes. Um it's like cool looking back on it, but when I think about it, I'm like, man, that was a little cringe.
What song was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it was this.
That's all we want to know.
I didn't know the song at first, but it's do you guys know Melanie Martinez?
No.
She was this girl. She was this girl. I think she came from The Voice a while ago. I think, um, but she has this song called like Dollhouse. So essentially, like the whole premise of the music video is like I was this girl and I don't even know like I had like it was like family issues going on and it was so weird like I okay the most embarrassing part like I had to put lipstick like on my hands and then I had to like run to the other side of the room and like smear it all over my face because I was so mad and like our family is like not perfect or I don't know it was
Wow.
wild like
Did you
Where
win an
can we
award
watch
for that
this?
performance? That must have been a good performance. Acting performance. No?
No, no, no. Surprisingly, like people didn't hate it as much as I thought they would because I was like, this is really weird. Like, I can't believe we're showing this in class. But the one project that really just did not get the the reception we thought it would at all, we had to do like a pilot episode for like a reality TV show. So and we had to come up with it. So my group, and it's never a good idea when you try and like be funny in a video because when you try to be funny, it's never comes across like people. I feel like it's very hard to like do comedy and like humor. So we tried to do our reality TV show based on Olympic speed walking. And we were all like speed walkers and we were just, showing the struggles and like, how intense it is. Like think Dance Moms, that's what we were doing. And we thought it was hilarious. Like we were laughing so hard. We show it, no one's laughing. Like my teacher is like, okay. Like it was so bad. It was so
Wow.
bad. That class was something else. When I tell you it was something else, it was something else. Like the projects that came out of there.
Where are these videos?
They are in the archive. Okay, so the music video I have, I can I can share it with you guys. I trust you. I can share it with you guys. It's really
Okay.
embarrassing.
Aiden,
Just
make sure to
don't
keep recording after we've stopped.
just don't
No,
just
she wouldn't
don't
show it on the
judge.
podcast. I don't know about that. I think she meant afterwards when we're done with this.
Yes, but I was
Um,
okay. You've clearly
You
missed
guys
my
can-
scheming plan, but
the speed walking one, unfortunately, like, we can't find it, and I'm so mad because I really I just want to see that one because it was so iconic. We also did I have another one where we had to do like emulate a director. So we did ours on Woody Harrelson, and it was like, you know what, in high school when you had to do like, I don't know if you guys had to do it like Valentine's Day, like they give you your matches, you check off a bunch of like some survey, and then they give you your list of people in the school that like you're most compatible with. Did any of you guys have that?
No. That's a cool idea to do
gosh.
That would have been terrible at my school.
It's
Like,
so,
like every student in every grade they surveyed?
yeah, so I think you had to pay like $1 or something to do this like
Okay.
Valentine's matchmaker thing.
Right.
And you like fill out like some random survey, and then you get like this list, and it's people, everyone else who like also signed up for it, who you're most compatible with. It's so weird. But basically like our concept of the video was doing something like that, and it was basically like this one guy, he really wanted to get this other guy, but that was like kind of the twist at the end, because the whole time you think he wants to get with this one girl, but then at the end you realize he was trying to get with this guy. It was like kind of cool, kind of interesting.
All right, I could see a lot of backlash coming off of that. But all right, that is not something I've ever heard of before.
Hey,
I don't know how to
first.
bounce off of that.
Yeah. No, here's a good transition. Like, yeah,
You're
these high
welcome.
school videos, like, you know, I did a lot of them too, and it's good to look back on them now. I think that's a good transition. It's good to look back and laugh and yeah, let's move on.
For some people, some of us
We don't
feel
need to talk.
everlasting regret with some of the stuff we've done in high school. but
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
depends on the person.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let's continue talking about high school, though.
Yeah.
What else did you do in high school that sort of helped you push towards this program and really get you interested in pursuing a career in sport media?
Yeah, so obviously like the Comtech class really kind of solidified my interest in wanting to pursue sport media, kind of, I guess, film more documentary style. Um, I took a lot of business classes, so I took like sport marketing, I took like an economics class, all of this kind of stuff. And that also kind of paved my way into wanting to not only pursue like sports, but also kind of broaden, I guess, my interest in terms of like business, marketing as well. And even now, like I'm trying to minor in marketing as well. So that also played a role. In English, we did a couple videos as well. I don't know if you saw on my YouTube, but there's this one, like we had to do a documentary. I think it was called like Overtime or something. I think there's a trailer on my YouTube if you saw it, I don't know. But yeah, so we did like a documentary on student athletes. So yeah, I guess like throughout my high school career, I kind of did a lot of different things. I tried to really diversify my interests, but then I also really tried to stick to like production and film, because that was primarily what I was interested in. Like I wasn't good at math. I wasn't really that good at science. I liked English too. So like writing was something that I also, tried to pursue.
It's
For sure,
crazy
yeah.
hearing how many different courses are offered at other schools. Like my
Yeah.
school
Sport
mostly
marketing.
offered,
Wow.
was like film, and I didn't even take that because
Oh,
you had to
really?
take you had to take it from like grade 10, and I did drama instead because I figured it would help more.
Yeah.
Very regret that decision, but it is what it is.
I took art in grade 10 because I think you had to take like one like art, music, or drama. And drama, no way that's happening. Music, I'm traumatized from middle school, like band or whatever music class. So I was like,
Yeah.
art, I guess, is the way to go. Actually turned out not bad. It was very relaxing, and looking back, like, because high school was really when I kind of got into my like hockey and like Leafs like obsession, I want to say. And literally in like art classes, like I'd be listening to like podcasts, I'd be listening to like the radio, like TSN radio, like Leafs Lunch, like I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast, like, so in a lot of ways the art class kind of helped me.
I thought you were gonna say like you were drawing like Tyler Bozak and like different players in your art class. I didn't think you were gonna go the podcast route.
I have to keep it classy again. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? I was just drawing. Oh my goodness. I couldn't.
That's where I thought you were going, like visual arts, right? Like that's what I'm thinking. Like, what is she drawing in this class that's related to sports? But no. I took drama. I didn't take art, but it was grade 9 for me. Actually, we had to choose between one of music, drama, and art. And then I think grade 10, like I didn't have to take any of them. I believe. I think I could just
really.
no. Yeah.
Stupid Oakville school system.
Man.
You know what, man? Like grade
outta
11 and
here.
12 were good. Hey, we had a TV studio at our high school
Really?
in grade 11 and 12. Yeah.
Man, what is this school?
It's called Abbey Park High School in Oakville. Yeah.
Wow.
We had like TVs in every single classroom. Yeah, and we'd put on a live broadcast for the school every morning, essentially. But there's like 3 groups in the class,
Whoa.
and like I was in one of the groups, and we went like I believe it was Thursday mornings at like 9:10, and I was the host with one of my other best friends, and we just had some fun with it. I'll send you guys some videos after too. Like we made some
That's so
pretty
cool.
good commercials, and it was fun. It was really fun. Yeah.
Wow.
But
Leaside
yeah.
High School could
Flex.
never.
No.
Leaside. Okay, you must live near me then.
Where do you live?
I live near Young and Lawrence.
Well, I live more in like the East York area, so I'm like
Okay.
Greenwood and like Plains kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, but I went to Leaside because I was in the French program, and that became my
Oh,
home
you were a
school.
Frenchie.
Wait,
Okay.
what year did you
Okay,
start taking French?
take that with a grain of salt, okay? Okay. I took extended French. So in grade 4, I took extended French. So half of like my courses are in French. My subjects are in French, except for like math and science are in English. Yeah, I didn't have those in French. I think that was the big difference. And then I took that from grade 4 to like high school, right? But I am just as illiterate as when I first started, so I am not good at French. Like, it's one of those things where I can kind of understand what people are saying, but trying to respond, it's not happening at all.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah, I started taking it since grade 1 to 12.
Really?
Yeah, and
Whoa.
the grammar stuff is out the door. Like if you want me to conjugate verbs and stuff like that, no. I can probably understand what people are saying. Yeah, like avoir. Like, do you remember like Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp? Did you learn that stuff?
I
No?
remember that.
This is like unlocking a vague memory. Whoa.
It's like all the different like words that like can't be conjugated because of Dr. Mr. Vandertramp. I don't know. That was like grade 6 stuff.
Yes.
Something like that.
Whoa.
But no, yeah, I can't do any of that stuff. I can like I don't remember the last time I spoke French. Like my mom occasionally like wants me and my sister to like talk in French to each other just because like she put us in French for a reason. She doesn't want us to forget it. But I can speak a little bit. Can I understand a little bit here and there?
Does your mom speak French or like parents?
No.
Oh.
No, they just wanted to get us into French immersion in grade 1. And yeah, I actually because I switched high schools. We're talking way too much about me now. But let's focus on Kayla.
Actually, before I want to know,
Yeah.
want to know if this was just a my school thing. Like this was only elementary school because I went to a private school afterwards. But
Okay.
what did they call people who were in the English only and then in the French only at your schools? Because at my school,
mine was just all French immersion.
Okay.
Yeah.
My school, we had the Frenchies or the French fries, and we were the English muffins. Keep in mind, this is like grade 6 kids. So these are like 12-year-olds.
I love that. I don't remember there being like any specific names, but there was definitely like separate groups, like the English people and like French never meshed. And there was like English, extended French, and then French immersion. It was just all like completely different groups. Like none of us meshed at all. But those names are wild. We didn't have that, man.
Yeah, it was great. They stuck all the French kids out in the portables in the middle of winter, which we held.
That must have been nice for you, right?
Well, this was also 100-year-old school, so it wasn't exactly the best. But again, it doesn't matter. That's shout out John Ross Robertson. School where Tom Wilson went to.
Hey,
that's not
actually my high school. Doug Gilmore's kid went to my high school. Yeah, Tyson Gilmore. I had a couple classes with him. Yeah,
that's a connection.
So that's a little cool, little nugget there for you guys.
Well, bouncing off that, this was going to be my last question, but you've met a lot of people.
Yes.
List that I saw very quickly: Scott Moore, Tessa Virtue, Austin Matthews, Tyson Berry, Travis Dermott, Kasperi Kapanen. You met a bunch of people. Who was your favorite person to meet?
This is a very good question because I know immediately who I want to say. Okay, so in terms of the Leafs, one of my absolute favorite people to meet is Travis Dermott. He is the nicest person ever, like most personable person ever. especially I always tend to go. I really like going for people or like being fans of people that aren't like, I guess traditionally like the most hyped up
The best.
person. Like obviously
Yeah.
like you like obviously Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, they're great, right? But it's sometimes you gotta like going for those guys when you're at those events and like the Travis Dermott's of the world, like there and there's like no one in line for them. You know what I mean? Like I always like to go and just be like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's up? You take a picture. But he is the nicest person. So I went to a couple years ago now, the Leafs, oh my gosh, Easter Seals skate. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
so I'd gone to that a couple years, but last year or 2 years ago now, I guess, I had went. And I remember going up to him and being like, hey, like how's it going? He's like, hey, I was like, oh, last year like we took a boomerang. Like, can we like what are we gonna do now? He's like, we gotta step it up now. And like he like took my phone and he was like, hey, we gotta take like this crazy video, okay? Because we gotta one up ourselves from last time. And I was like, okay. And it was just like the video I think is on my Twitter. He's like moving it around and like going crazy. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't know. But I remember, I think I talked to him for like 15 minutes. Like he took a video for my friend. We took a picture. He did that, took my phone, did a video. Like it was really cool. And like, obviously like they don't have to do that, right? Like some people you just take the photo and they're like, okay, thanks. Yeah. Okay, bye. But he like took the time to like talk to you and like, you know, make a full kind of experience out of it. But he's from the Leafs, one of my favorites. Tessa and Scott, though, that is such a drop. Like the first time I met them is actually so embarrassing because it was at the CNE. So
Oh God.
couple years, a long time ago now, they were at the CNE and I was like, oh my God, like, because the CNE is like my favorite place ever. I go there all the time. It's almost embarrassing, but
And
they
you
were
worked
there.
there. Don't forget to mention that you worked there.
Oh no. Oh no.
Why is it
That was-
embarrassing that you worked at the CNE?
It wasn't embarrassing. It was just one of the worst jobs ever. Like
Ah.
yeah, it was just one of the worst jobs ever because I was just standing there scanning people's tickets, literally just standing there for like 8 hours. And they put me at a gate where like no one goes. So you're just standing there for 8 hours and like my feet hurt, it's hot. Like I don't want to be standing there working. I want to be in there like doing stuff, you know?
Right.
But yeah, so Tessa and Scott, they were performing there because they had like the ice show, right? And I went to like almost every single performance. They probably had like 2-3 performances a day. I went to like every one. And I remember after I went to like the food court and we were sitting outside and they like walked by and I was like, oh my God. I tell like my brother, my cousin, like, oh my God, that's Tessa and Scott. Like, oh my God. And he's like, go say hi, like go take a picture. I'm like, me terrified. I'm like, that's not happening. I'm like, no, I'll just like admire from a distance, like whatever. And then my brother like screams. He's like, Tessa, like Scott, like, and they turn around and I'm just like, oh hi, like literally I was too embarrassed to like get up, like do anything about it. Like I just like I literally just stood there. Like I was the standing emoji. I just stood there. I was like, okay. I think like a year or so later, they had like some skating event and me and my friend bought tickets and we went to it and I met them after. So I took pictures with them and I like brought up this story and I was like, oh yeah, like I was so scared to like talk to you guys and like take a picture or anything. And like Scott was like, why? Like you should have just come up. Like we weren't doing anything. Like it's okay. Like whatever, all this stuff. But like they were just super nice. And that always goes like a big way with me. Like when athletes are just like, you know, super personable, like, you know, all of a sudden I'm like, you're my favorite person ever. I love you guys. So yeah, those two are my favorites, them and Travis. So if you guys get a chance to meet Travis. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to meet Travis Dermott too.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna have to do it pretty quickly because you may not be a Leaf.
I've been pretty harsh to Travis Dermott on this podcast, not gonna lie.
Okay, hockey aside, like he's just like a nice person, you know, kind of
yeah. For sure. No, yeah, he's down, and I agree with what you're saying. Like, it's sometimes the people who like aren't like the biggest names that are like the nicest people, and it's nice of you to go up to him still. Like, even though there's probably long lines for Matthews and the popular people, like just to talk to him, like you grow a closer relationship to the people who might be lesser known. So that's cool that you kind of, and I'm sure like if he sees you again, like he'll recognize you if you've met him twice now. So.
Yeah, I think twice, 2 or 3 times. Well, never the person I met the most and is one of the most embarrassing stories. I will expose myself here. I met JVR like 5-6 times, but the most embarrassing story, because this is going back to like my Leafs like fan like stan times, right? Where I went to every single event that they had. I was live tweeting every game. Like I think I told my mom one time to go to this like signing that JVR had because I couldn't make it, like do it on my behalf. Like I made my mom do that. But there was one day he had a signing at the Eaton Center and I was like first in line. I was first in line and I was so excited. I'm like, let's go. So I go over there, I'm standing beside him, he's sitting, and I'm like standing beside him, and I'm like ready for the picture, like I just like smile, whatever. My mom has the audacity to hold the phone and be like, why don't you give him a kiss on the cheek? And I like my face, I'm like, JVR, just the most awkward laugh I've ever heard about. He's like, huh, huh, okay. I'm like, don't worry, it's not gonna happen. And I was like, okay, just take the picture. And then I sprinted out of there. And then like I think a couple months later, I had gone to the Leafs gala. So they do like the players gala, if you guys, yeah. So I went there for my 16th birthday and JVR was there. And I went to go take a picture with him. Like, I literally don't know why. Like, I'm praying. I don't think he recognized me, but just the sheer awkwardness I felt, I was like, the most awkward, like, you know, putting my arm around him just because like, but I want this picture. So I'm still just going to suck it up and do it. But it's just so, like, I can't get that like image out of my head. Just his laugh. It was just so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, God. It was so bad. Like, I literally, I remember telling my mom after, I was like, why did you do that? Say that? Like, why? Like, why would you say that?
Just in the moment, it just came out. Wow.
I guess.
Hey, you know, it gives you a story to tell now, though. And
exactly.
Was that the very first time that you met him too, or did you meet him before that? No, that was the first time.
No, I'd met him. I think I'd met him before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I weird for some reason met JVR like so many times, and he wasn't even like one of my favorites. It just kind of happened that way.
Wow.
That is something. It's probably the best way to sum that up.
Wait, I could tell there's another like random story. It's not as wild as that. But when I had gone to the Players Gala, I specifically went there because like Tyler Bozak, like I never met him before, right? So I think where he was standing, it was like him and Riley, and I was like, wow, like I love these guys, like let's go. So I'm getting ready for the picture. I go like stand over there. I'm like in between two of them. All of a sudden, who comes out to also join this picture? Stefan Robidas. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, so I have a picture. It's me, Riley, and Tyler Bozak, and then just Robidas. And I'm like, are you like, this picture could have been everything to me? And then Robidas just had to kind of like steal my thunder. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And then after I took that picture, I was like, nah, this is not how we're having this picture. So I'm like, I told like Riley and Bozak, I was like, it's my birthday today. Like, they're like, happy birthday, like whatever, blah, blah. And I was like, can we get a picture? So I took a selfie with them. I posted on Twitter and Riley liked the photo. And I was like, wow, I'm so gassed right now. Like, let's go. And then I left and I'm so embarrassing. I came back because I was like, I need a photo just like Bozak. So I come and I get another photo with just Bozak. And Robidas just standing there because he sees me take photos with him and Riley and Bozak and not Robidas. Like, I'm like, I want nothing to do with you.
The Leafs didn't either.
yeah, they didn't. They tossed him aside.
Yeah. Oh wow. No, I can see why you just wanted it with Bozak and who was the other guy? The Riley. Yeah, Riley. Yeah. This must have been when Riley was like a rookie.
To Stefan Robidas. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm sorry. It's 16-year-old me at the time. I'm sorry. But he just jumped in there. I was like, this picture's perfect as it is. Like, we got the group together.
He photobombed. Okay, that's not cool.
Yeah, he just came in. And I was like, dude, like,
that's not right.
This is not the time.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Exactly. Master of Photoshop. Maybe you use those abilities to.
Yeah, great transition, Connor. Great transition.
Yeah, and you can check some of her Photoshops out at Krosmus_digital, which will be linked down below. But when did you first start getting into graphic design and stuff on that sort of front in terms of like Photoshop?
Yeah, it actually wasn't something that I was trying to like pursue or even just kind of experiment or mess around with. Because like obviously in high school, we kind of played around with Photoshop, and I honestly was never the best at it. Like I was so bad. There's one project that I just remember, and it's just the absolute worst thing I've ever done in my life. And so when I think of Photoshop, I just think of that project. I'm like, I am so bad at this. Like, I can't figure this out. But it was actually, I, Therese really, that kind of inspired me to kind of start trying that, because I saw her like doing all these like amazing things, and I'm like, maybe I should try it out. Because a big thing for me is I really want to try and like diversify my skills. Like I'm someone who really values being like a jack of all trades. Like I want to be good at, video. I want to be, good at graphics, writing, producing. Like I really value like trying to be having a skill, I guess, in everything. And so I was like, you know what, let me try like this graphic stuff, and honestly, starting off, I really wasn't the greatest, but, having people like Therese or even, that group at the time, Kennedy, who's also doing graphics, Jack or Lucas, like we all kind of like bounced ideas off of each other, and it really helped. And, we had Sport Buzz as well. So just having like a platform, I guess, to kind of post stuff, and, people didn't necessarily know it was me that was like created that. So in a sense, that also kind of relieved a lot of the pressure, because, especially when you're posting stuff and, you're not super confident in it, you're like, I'm just going to do this. Let's see what happens. It's a little bit better when people don't really know if it's you exactly who created that, you know what I mean? So, but then kind of through that, I kind of, built some confidence and messed around with it a bit more. And I mean, I'm still trying, so it's all we can do.
Yeah. I know, like your graphics are great. Like the one that you
Thank
just
you.
released on the Leafs and Habs, was it yesterday? Like with
Yeah.
like Matthews and Marner and Tavares, and like I don't know what they're called. It looked
Yeah.
like some like Marvel thing. Like in Guardians of the Galaxy where they go to like visit the collector. That's what I was
Yes.
thinking.
Lucas, I think he messaged me after, and he was like, this looks like in Civil War, like when they go to see all like,
Oh
super
yeah, the
soldiers,
Winter
they're all in like
Soldiers.
those I think it's like the cryo tanks. That's what it's called. Something like that.
Yeah.
Cryogenic
Cryogenic chambers are a thing,
chambers.
but I think
I
that's
don't know if
like
that's what it's called, but
that's injury recovery. Those giant ice machines that make your body really cold.
okay, then
Oh
Uh,
yeah, right. That's cryotherapy. Yeah.
yeah,
maybe not. I just
we know
vividly
what you're talking
remember
about.
searching something like
Eric
that.
Voss would know the term for sure.
Yeah. Our guy.
Yeah, so yeah, they're great. Do we want to go back to like how she got into like Ryerson now, Connor?
Yeah,
You think? Yeah.
yeah.
So
Come back to that.
like obviously we had the whole high school discussion, but when did you find out about sport media in the first place, and what was kind of like the first step, I guess, that you did in like choosing high school courses to kind of help you like get into the program?
Yeah, so I guess my kind of story getting to the program is a little bit because I had tried before and I didn't get in, and then I tried again and I got in, but we can kind of get into that, I guess, a little later. But I first found out about the program, I'd say like grade 11 or so, because I had a really good friend who was also interested in basically the same things I was. She just liked more film and I liked sports, obviously, right? So I think she found out about media production, and I was kind of researching stuff as well, because I was like, I don't really know what I'm interested in, especially when I quit gymnastics. Like I really had like kind of this identity crisis, because like my whole life was being an athlete, right? Doing sports. Like when I left that, I had no idea, like I wasn't my own person at all. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do. All I knew was that like my safety net was like sports in a way. Like I was like, I don't really care what I do as long as it's sports. It could be business, could be, science, like kinesiology, it could be, whatever. I just knew I kind of wanted to do sports. And so I think she had kind of introduced me, like I said, to her interest with media production, and then through that I found sport media, and I was like, wait, this is like super cool. It's sports, which I love, but then it's also what's so great is you're learning a bit about everything. It's not just about specifically production, which is obviously a big thing, but there's some like journalism aspects, business aspects, like it's kind of a good place to learn a little bit of everything and really see what you're interested in. And in grade 12, I think that's when I took sport marketing. I also like specifically took like more English, I guess, based kind of courses. So English, I took Comtech again. Yeah, I don't think in grade 12, especially at that time, I didn't really do too much, I guess, in a sense to kind of really separate myself. I just remember I didn't take like math, I didn't take science at all. Like that wasn't happening.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like, because we talk to so many people now, like they also sided away from the science and the math and took more like media heavy courses. So, and then, so you said that you didn't get in the first time when you applied. So, did you take like a gap year, I guess, after? Or I don't know this story.
This is actually like, I guess this is a very long, like a very long story, but I'll try like to kind of, keep it short and like
Take as long as you want.
all right. Well, there's a little bit of drama that kind of happened with it, but essentially, so me and my friend, so the girl that wanted to go into media production, we both really wanted to go to Ryerson, and I was super excited, and I almost think like looking back, a flaw that I really had was that I literally tunnel vision like Ryerson. That's all I want to get into, and I almost thought so highly of myself. Like I was like, I'm such a sports fan. And, like I'm listening to these podcasts. I'm, watching every game. Like there's no way I'm not going to get in. I have this short film that got into a community thing. Like there's no way I'm not getting in. And I really like told everybody I was like, I really like, I want to get in this program. I think I'm going to get in. Like, and everyone is hyping me up. They're like, you're going to get in. Of course you're getting in. There's no way you're not getting in. And, when I went to do the interview the first time around, I completely like it was really bad. Like it wasn't like that bad, but I just remember talking about for some reason my video edit account for like some like my fan hockey like video edit account for some reason. And I just remember leaving that being like, I don't really know like how that went. I think it's okay, but we'll see. I didn't get in, obviously. My friend ended up getting in to her program, media production, and it was really tough for me just because like, here I am, I thought I was going to get in, and then all of a sudden like I did not get in, and I didn't really have like a backup plan. I'd gone to like the university fairs and kind of looking around at the different stuff. I think like Western had some sport thing, Brock sport management I looked at, and then I also looked at Guelph Humber, which had like a media thing.
I applied there.
Yeah. So Guelph Humber was like my second school. Like I kind of say like Guelph Humber was my second school and Brock was my third choice, but they were both kind of the same level. Like it was Ryerson or it wasn't really anything for me. So when I didn't get in, my mom didn't want me to take a gap year, so I needed to go to a school. So I ended up going to Guelph Humber just because it was closer. You could still commute, even though it's like over an hour. So I went there for a year. I took media studies, and then afterwards, like I guess whenever the year later, I reapplied to Ryerson, and I was like, okay, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If I get in this time, then it's meant to be. If not, then it's fine. Like that program also was pretty good, and I almost was just like accepting of it. I was like, it is what it is. I'm just gonna make the most of it. I don't want to be upset because then that's just gonna affect my experience there and like my learning and whatnot. And then I applied again, and then here we are.
And for the program at Guelph Humber, you would get a degree and a diploma if you graduated from there, right?
Yeah.
Media studies. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was also my second option too. But yeah, it was definitely Ryerson first. Like if I didn't get into Ryerson, I didn't know what I would do. And I know a couple of people from my high school in Abbey Park. They're in media studies at Guelph Humber actually, and they seem to like it too. But like I'm talking to them, and like some of them actually wanted to get into sport media, but they applied. But then once Guelph Humber accepted them before they found out about Ryerson, that was like even before the interview process. And they didn't even go to the interviews for sport media. They were just like,
really?
You know what? Guelph Humber. We're going to do Guelph Humber. But now talking to them right now, they're like, maybe I'll take like 2 years after the Guelph Humber program and go to like College of Sport Media for 2 years because they want to get into sports somehow.
Yeah.
But I think they're kind of regretting that. So it's good that you applied to Ryerson again after that. What was like, I guess the biggest, there's got to be so many differences between the two programs, but like, why do you think media studies at Guelph Humber just wasn't it for you?
I mean, I think a big part of it was like my head just wasn't in it at all. Like I was still so upset, almost in a way like embarrassed in a way, like being there, just because like I thought so highly of myself. Like I really thought I was going to get into Ryerson, and not getting in there, I don't know. It definitely felt like a second choice. You know what I mean? And, you know, you never want to be in a second choice type of position. So when I was there, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I should have, or taken it as much advantage as I should have being there. I guess kind of a pro over there, kind of similar to Ryerson, is that it's a very small program. Like the classes are like 20, 30 people, right? So you do really get to kind of know everyone there, you know, the profs, all of that. So I mean, in that sense, it was good. And you do learn kind of a lot of the kind of basic general kind of stuff of just about like media and whatnot. But I was always like, I wanted to do sports, right? So again, it just really felt like kind of a second choice. It sounds so bad to say. It just really felt like kind of a second choice. And I just, yeah, I wasn't really that happy. I mean, I had friends and stuff, and it's almost like the gymnastics scenario where I was like, you know, I like my friends. I like being there, but like I don't like being there at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
like from what I've been hearing about the media studies program too, that's more like I guess it's more just straight up comm tech in some way. Like, but also I've heard there's like coding involved, or like computer science as well that's in the program, like heading into like I guess third year. Or like web design, or I know there's coding. There's definitely coding involved in that. And
I had no idea about coding. Wow.
Yeah. And then sport media is more like the hands-on like production. So there is quite a difference in.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely had some interesting courses. Like I think there was a PR course that was pretty interesting, that we haven't had here, like at Ryerson,
Mhm.
right? It's like it's different. It's interesting. But yeah, like a lot of those courses there, I feel like, or even the time I was there, because I was only there for a year, right? It was still very general, kind of generic courses, that kind of just show you like broadly what media is about.
Isn't it like in second year you can like go into like something more niche?
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's third
Oh,
year,
third year? Okay.
I think, and you can specialize in a specific stream. I don't
Mhm.
really remember all of them. I know I wanted to go into media business. I think that was one of the things I was interested in. There was also like a videography thing, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
What was it like, I guess, doing it the second time around? Did you feel there was more pressure to applying to Ryerson, or was it sort of like I'm going to do this no matter what? Let's just see how it goes.
It was almost a little bit of both. Like I always just knew, I was like, I'm just gonna do this and we're gonna see what happens. But at the same time, it was kind of like I felt a lot of pressure because I really wanted to get in. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to be disappointed again, and go through all of this and then not make it in again. So I definitely felt a lot of pressure. But obviously I'd kind of gone through the process before, right? So I kind of knew what to expect. And the written portion, I think, for the application was the exact same questions. So, you know, going through that, I was like, this isn't that bad. Like, it's okay, not that much work. And honestly, like the whole process doing it again was not that bad, just because I had gone through it before. The interview was what I was most like afraid of, or not afraid, but just most nervous about, because I'm like, I really feel like this is a make it or break it. And this is what messed me up last time, the interview portion. And when I went in there, I forget who I had. It was like I forget his name, Steven something. And the nicest person ever. Like I think I was like sick, or I had a cough, and he was like, oh, like here's like a cough candy, like take that. And it like just, I don't know, kind of immediately like broke the ice. Like I just felt like less nervous. I was like, oh, this guy's really nice. And we just talked about like my short film that was in the community film festival, basically just talked about that, my gymnastics experience. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And then I was like, coming out of it, I was like, I feel really good about this. Like last time I didn't feel good. I feel very good. And then I think like a couple weeks later, I found out and I got in, and I was like, let's
Couple
go.
weeks. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was like end of March or something.
Is that the earliest we've heard? I think that might be the earliest we've heard someone get in.
Really?
Well, they knew her well from the year before. They're like, she's applying again. She's in.
They're like, it's her. But I did also apply to media production too, and I got into that. I didn't really want to get into, like, I didn't really want to do media production, obviously, but I think considering just how almost similar in a way it is to sport media, you know, you're learning similar things. It's just one's more film based, one's more sport based. That I was like, I don't really care. Like, I just want to go to Ryerson. Doesn't matter which program. I'm going to apply to both and we'll see what happens. And then, yeah, when I got into media production, I was like, okay, like at least I have this. But then when I got into sport media, I was like, okay, let's go.
What other programs did you apply to? Because we've applied to 4 of the same programs. Like I
Really?
also applied to sport management,
Whoa.
Guelph Humber, media production, and sport media.
Whoa. It's like,
Is
you're
there a
reading my
fifth?
mind. No, that was it.
That was
So
it?
the
Okay.
first time around, yeah, it was just sport media, media studies, and then sport management. And then the second time around, I just applied to media production and sport media.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I applied to like Trent as well, journalism.
Oh.
That was a very bad option. I'm glad I did not go there. But yeah, I guess what was like, so you mentioned like the interview just felt a lot better coming out of it the second time. But do you also think like just going to Guelph Humber for that year might have helped you get into sport media, or did you do anything else like in between that year that you think made a clear difference to help you get in this time?
I mean, at Guelph Humber, I didn't really do too much extra that I think could have helped me, because I was commuting there, right? It took me like an hour and a half to get there, get back. Like I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. Like, I don't want to spend extra time there. So I didn't really like participate. I think they had like some TV type thing, and I didn't really participate in that at all. Yeah, so I wouldn't really say anything, at least at Guelph Humber, kind of helped me. I know the second time around I tried, I think I made a website or like a blog, and I like wrote like a bunch of, I really hope you didn't find that. Oh no.
I didn't, but I did that too.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's just a bunch of like weird, like I think I wrote about like the Leafs. It was
That
just,
helps.
yeah, I made a blog, and I think it helped just because it shows like initiative, right? Like you're really trying to show that, I don't know, but I'm glad you didn't find that. That's all I can say.
They're oddly hard to find. Like I can't, when you look up my name, you can't find mine. And I used my name in the name of the blog.
See,
So,
I
like,
didn't. So
Did you use your full name or did you just?
No, I only use my first name.
Right.
But like still all the articles were titled Connor Somerville. Like it was very linked to me, but nothing ever came up from it. So I think if you used WordPress, I assume, because that's sort of the go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think WordPress does a good job of suppressing it for us.
Yes.
That nobody has to see it. But
Just
I'm curious.
pretend it doesn't exist.
Yes, probably for the better. But
Yeah.
I'm curious, what day did you interview? And do you remember anyone you met who's currently in the program at the day of event stuff?
So the day I interviewed, I have no idea. It was like mid-March for sure, like a weekday. I don't remember the day. In terms of people, I don't think there was anyone there that like I recognize now in our program that I met there. Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like there was, but I just can't like, I don't know. I can't like say who it was, but I feel like maybe there was, but I can't think of anyone right now. Weird.
There probably was.
There might have been, like, I don't know why, for some reason I want to say Erica. Like she's just coming to front of mind, but I just have like, it's like a vague memory.
We're going to have to talk to Erica then.
I mean, maybe, but it's like, I don't think we talked. I think we, like, I just recognized her because she also like from like hockey, like in like Leafs Twitter, I recognized her. Yeah, so that's why I think that's why I have a big memory of her. But yeah, we didn't talk then.
Interesting. So you're not alone on that, not remembering your date, Aiden.
Oh yeah, I'm always no, exactly, right? How do people remember that?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. The only reason I remember, like, I don't remember the actual date. I just remember it was the Friday before March break.
Oh.
Because I tried to schedule it for a time when I wouldn't miss much school. Because
yeah, that makes sense.
I'm a nerd, but like when you were looking at like you reapplying, what was your sort of family's reaction to you deciding to reapply and sort of take a risk at going to university for 5 years? Because obviously when you're at Guelph Humber, 4 years at Ryerson, what was their sort of reaction to it? Were they supportive of that decision?
Yeah, they were 100% supportive. You know, my mom really knew how badly I wanted to get into Ryerson, and in terms of, finding out that I didn't get in, I was like crushed. I was so sad. And especially because at that time, so when I mentioned that there was kind of drama with it, so my friend who got into media production, I later found out from another like mutual friend that she didn't tell me to apply also to media production because she didn't want me to take her spot. And I was like, dude, we were like such good friends at the time. Like both of us wanted to get into Ryerson so badly. Like you knew how badly I wanted to get in. Like at that point, they're like the programs are fairly similar that, you could have at least told me to also apply to media production, you know what I mean? And so because of that whole situation, like I was so sad, like I was so upset, and especially because I wanted to get in so badly. So when I, mentioned, I think the whole plan was I always, at the end of that first year at Guelph, like I was going to apply no matter what. And my parents knew that. They knew like how badly I wanted to get in. So they were always like super supportive of that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's continue talking about Ryerson because we haven't talked about you actually being at school, which is probably important. But you took social media. Obviously, you have your own website. Well, you have two technically. One you don't use because it was made for this class. But what sort of inspired you to create your own website, www.kaylarosmus.com?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to be using that other one from social media. I don't know how to get rid of it, so that's why it's there. But in terms of my own, at that point, I think I was creating, I had content that I'd created, and I just wanted a place to have to kind of put them all together so that everyone can see it and it's all in one place. In terms of, the video stuff that I was doing with like Roots of the Rams or any graphics stuff, any school stuff, like I just wanted a place to kind of have it. And I feel like, especially when you're trying to, like find people in the industry or, kind of reach out, having a website or a portfolio, I think it's really good to have just so that they can see all of your work kind of in one place. And, if I put it in like my Twitter bio or like my Instagram bio, someone might just come across and see that and click it and they'll be able to see all my stuff, right? Like you never know who might come across your page. And yeah, I really just wanted to have a place to have all my stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you got a ton of stuff on it. Like, so obviously the stuff with Over the Line, and then you did a bunch of features and stuff that you're just doing, like personal stuff as well. How, I guess, like, so you've done so much work. Like, how important, I guess, is it for you to like try a bunch of different things in terms of like, because most of it is graphics, I guess, and video. But like, how important is it for you to like do it with like a bunch of different people and different like networks and different like brands, I guess?
It's really important for me. Like I really want to be able to get a lot of experience. And I think when you work with different places, you get different experiences from that. Like even with working like Over the Line or doing my own personal stuff, like the types of content that you're creating is very different depending on, what they're looking for. Whereas with personal stuff, I can do whatever I want. Even when I was working with the Special Olympics, those graphics are, or the graphical content, the social media stuff is completely different as well. And you just like, I feel like you learn a lot of things. You're learning how to work with different brands, what they expect, different companies, organizations as well. And yeah, for me, like I said, just a big thing is like getting a lot of experience, and being able to say that I worked with a bunch of different people.
So what did you just mentioned your work with Special Olympics. What did you do for them exactly?
Yeah, I was a marketing coordinator. Really all I did was I did social media stuff. So I just created, content, whether that was like graphic stuff or stuff for their Instagram stories, and working on projects. So one of the main things that I worked on was they had this project called Reveal Your Champion. So it was like this year-long program that had all these like workouts, exercises for the athletes. And every month there's like, different exercises, workout plans. And yeah, I was basically just trying to promote that.
Okay. And that isn't the only work you've done with some sort of like charitable organization. You also did work with the Mental Health Support Network.
Yeah.
What did that sort of entail, doing work with them really in the heart of the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, at that time, especially, I didn't really have a job. My retail job, I was working at Sport Check, but obviously, because of the pandemic, there wasn't really a lot of work, right? And I really wanted just to say that I was doing something during the pandemic. So I volunteered at the Mental Health Support Network. And that was, I think, something that was really important for me, just because like with my gymnastics experience, like I've experienced a lot of like, anxiety or, dealing with other stuff as well. And especially during this pandemic, that was something that, I feel like for a lot of people really heightened. And not only was it a good place to kind of get experience, because I was almost doing something that I hadn't really done before, which was, leading a team, like managing other people and like making sure that they were creating stuff. And it wasn't like on me to create this stuff right now. So I was kind of in a different role, gaining different types of experience. And then, yeah, in terms of the mental health support network during something like the pandemic, like I feel like it was just a really good time, I guess, almost to be working with it. And it meant a lot just because, it's something that I struggled with too, right? So to be a part of that was important.
What's something that you think you like took out of it the most, and something that you're gonna like continue to like keep with you, I guess, in future work?
I mean, not necessarily like work related, but for me, something that I really struggle with is, being vulnerable and like accept or like dealing with your emotions. I'm someone that always represses everything that I feel. Like if I'm happy, or you don't see anything else, like you're just gonna see me happy, right? And when I was with the mental health support network, here you're here and you're trying to help other people that are dealing with things that I deal with, sorry, losing my train of thought, but but oh my goodness, what was I gonna say?
You're coming off for a full day of work. We don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm literally losing my train of thought. But basically, like, being able to help other people that were kind of experiencing things that I was experiencing was something that was really important. And that was probably the biggest thing that I took away, just being able to not be afraid to, talk about those types of things. And it's okay to feel what you're feeling. And
Definitely.
yeah, just being able to spread awareness about that. That was really important for me.
And how much have you taken from those experiences to sort of push them into your own work of stuff with either Over the Line, or the Roots of the Ram haven't really done anything for a while.
Yeah.
You were
Spotlight.
involved with
Spotlight.
a couple of those
Oh
productions.
boy.
We will touch on Spotlight. I want to talk about your latest episode because I've seen the pushes
Oh
on
boy.
social media of it. But even like some of your other stuff just in your daily life, how have you sort of taken away the experiences you had working for two very important organizations and leveling that with doing stuff with a company that's growing and Over the Line and your own work, like schoolwork, etc.?
Yeah. A big reason why I enjoyed working with like the Special Olympics and the Mental Health Support Network is because, it deals with important topics. And with the Special Olympics, you're working with an organization that is not entirely like well known. And when a lot of people think of the Special Olympics, they think of the Paralympics, but they're two completely different things, right? And just being able to share those stories is something that was really important to me. And me personally, I really enjoy sharing those types of stories, about the more human aspects of athletes, or things that people deal with all the time. And that, going ahead, I guess, looking forward into my types of work, like that's the type of stuff that I try to continue to do and continue to inspire people through that way. Even like with the Roots of the Ram stuff, some of those stories, or the personal the features that we've done for school, like a lot of those features that I try and do are those that also kind of emulate a lot of those same storylines, in which you're looking at more of like the human aspects of the athletes. Like even the one that we did, Aiden, about the baseball player, the what was her name? Caitlin, yeah. And talking about how, she was a female playing in a predominantly like male sport, or playing with male teams, and like talking about that. Like those are a lot of the stories that I try to I guess pursue.
Yeah.
And what I try and do a lot of in my work as well.
Did we end up sending that feature to Caitlin? I don't remember.
I have no idea. Oh my goodness.
I remember thinking
I have
like
no
way back
idea.
then, like, did we send it to her? I don't know if we did. Maybe we should. I don't know. I actually don't know.
It's a little late now. Like
yeah.
When did you make it?
Second year.
Okay, it's a little
semester?
late considering that's now 2 years ago.
No, Yeah, I don't think we ever addressed that, but I was thinking like soon after, but like I assumed one of us sent it, but I never sent it to her.
I don't think maybe I did, but I don't
Because
remember.
I remember you like organized basically everything. Like Kayla's really like responsible, like when it comes to like group work. So, like she organized like the entire like interview, like where we would shoot it and the B-roll stuff that we filmed as well. And yeah, I have noticed like you're saying like storytelling is key for you, like in your graphics and in your features, and you want to do something that's like meaningful. So does it really matter like what you get into, whether it be graphics or documentaries or something, or is it just more important to you to like tell these stories and try and like I don't know, I guess tell the stories, share these people's stories?
No, it honestly, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, coming into this program, I really thought I wanted to do like documentaries, features, and like in those early times, like that was a lot of what I was focusing on, especially with like Roots to the Rams and stuff like that. But then when the pandemic hit, like I kind of had to take a shift and be like, we can't really do features, so let me try something else. And that's when I did graphics, and I really learned how to kind of take my creativity in a new way. And I realized like you can also share stories this way as well, and inspire and impact people too. So it doesn't really matter, I guess, what kind of lane, I guess, as long as it's kind of content creation and I'm able to still do storytelling and share those stories. To me, that's all that really matters.
For sure.
All right. We'll wrap up. We have a few more things we want to touch on. First, Over the Line Sports. You are a graphic designer for them. How did you sort of get that position, and how has it been like working with people who you work with like in the program in a professional environment?
Yeah, I think I found out about it through like Therese and Jack because they were originally in it. And I think they had like reached out to Curtis, who like runs the page, being like, I think they were looking for people and they just like kind of mentioned me. And that's how I kind of got into it, because I was like, oh, like, this could be fun, actually creating, like, I have a purpose for kind of creating these things. It's not just kind of for fun. And yeah, it's been really great. I get to work with people that I enjoy working with, and like my friends, right? And we can all kind of bounce ideas off each other, like I said before. And it's kind of nice to be able to, again, like create something for something somewhat other than myself, and just doing it for fun. Like I have a purpose to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Final things we want to touch on. First, we're going to plug the Unlimited podcast because
Unlimited. It's not the
Yeah.
Unlimited podcast. It's just Unlimited.
Okay, the Unlimited, but you did a podcast with Kayla. How's that? Good? Yes?
Yeah.
All right. Unlimited, you did a podcast with Kayla. What did you talk about without spoiling anything for anybody who hasn't seen it?
We talked about some WandaVision. I think that was like episode 8, I think. How many there was 10, right? No, it was
There's
9?
9.
9. So yeah, it was right after episode 7.
7. I
it's
was
right
gonna say, I think it's 7.
Yeah, it was right after episode 7. There was a big reveal. And yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Kayla knows a lot about Marvel.
Everything I know comes from Eric Voss.
Yes, Eric Voss is the legend. And yeah, I always love talking about Marvel. Like Marvel's like, that's the reason why I kind of started that other podcast, so I can kind of talk about like anything I want. It doesn't have to be sports. But yeah, that was a good podcast. Check it out. Maybe I'll put the link in the description even.
Rack up some more views.
How did you like coming on it, Kayla?
It was fun.
It was terrible.
I hated it. No, I'm kidding. It was fun. It was like one of the first times, like usually when I talk about Marvel, it's like with like my brother. So it was kind of nice to be able to talk about it with like other people, and kind of share thoughts. And you had like some interesting questions. I was like, I think sometimes you ask stuff and I was like, whoa, like I did not think of it this way. And like, I don't know, it was just kind of interesting to hear like other people's takes.
Yeah, it's fun. Connor, I gotta get you on. I gotta get you on soon.
We do this already, so you don't have to get me on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm not doing anything, so no job. Final questions. We got to talk about the Spotlight podcast / radio show. Not right now because obviously no semester. But you host it with Alex Voinu. I believe I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
I don't know why that name confuses me. Therese Seville, Samantha Cleary. Go check out Therese and Sam's episodes with us, because those should be up on the YouTube channel. Is Sam's?
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
You think so? Okay.
It's definitely on Spotify.
She was our last guest of the fall semester. Is the only reason I bring that up.
I just started playing a video.
All right. Hopefully, no copyright.
Bit loud there.
Oh my goodness.
Wait,
but you
what?
also host it with Keaton Wolichka. Obviously, we need to get
Oh.
Alex and Keaton on at some point. We're working our way through the program slowly, but Aiden, as you look to see if we've had
Yeah,
Sam on.
sorry. I was searching by most popular, and then Teresa's video was the first one. And I was like, where are the other ones? I was
The
like
SS
scrolling, but
Live
then
is
I-
up there. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay. Hold on.
All right.
Newest.
But can you tell us sort of a breakdown of what your most recent episode, the entire basis of it is? Because you've posted stuff on social media, and it looks like a very interesting idea for a podcast.
So of our most recent episode, right?
Yeah.
That you're asking? Yeah. So basically the idea was we joke about it, but we are like the most single people out there. And we're like, hey, it could be fun. None of us have really like attempted the dating world, like the online dating world. So we're like, hey, let's take a look. And so we dived into the world of Bumble, but we all like were in control of other people's accounts. So
Okay.
it wasn't even our own. So
That's
I was
even better.
doing, yeah. So I was,
What? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, it's like Freaky Friday up in here. Like I was Therese was Keaton was Sam, and Sam was me. So we were all like different, we're like catfishes, like we were different people. And we were just trying to find like, seeing what kind of conversations we can spring up, it was just for fun, just for jokes. Yeah,
There'll be
it
a lot
was-
of disappointed guys out there. Like
it was
catfish.
a lot of fun, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Like it because you don't have any pressure when it's not yourself, so you're just like, yeah, whatever happens, here we go.
Did anything come out of it?
we're still doing it because there's supposed to be like 3 parts to it. So the first part was just us kind of setting it up. The second part's going to be us, like, you're going to see like conversations, and then the third part's like this big reveal that we're doing. So right now there's still conversations are happening. It's getting wild.
It's spicy.
Therese, I might have found the love of her life. I'm kidding.
Okay, so we'll definitely link that in the description.
Yeah.
But apart from taking over others' Bumbles, which is definitely against terms of service, and hopefully they don't watch this episode.
Don't
although
tell
I
anyone.
highly doubt they are. What else do you talk about on the Spotlight? Because it isn't just focused on sports. You touch on sports, obviously, and obviously Bumble, clearly. But what else do you sort of talk about on the Spotlight, and how often do you do it?
So right now we just started the summer series. So we're going to be trying to do like shows, I guess, every week, and we're going to try and bring some people on. We'll have to have you guys on one time, but hey, but yeah, we just kind of talk about honestly whatever. Like we talk about sports, there's a TV section, entertainment. Like it's kind of separated, but at the same time we talk about literally anything. It's basically like our conversations that we have anyways. It's just on like a platform now, and we just kind of have fun.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, like
it's
a
very
big-
like a conversation, right? It's like chill environment. Yeah.
Like I think so many people in this program, like for good reason, it's very like you take everything that you do very seriously,
Yeah.
like everything that you do, it's like a piece of work. Like, you want to be able to show this to potential employers, whatever. But at the same time, like I think it's really important just, have fun. And a big thing that I learned, because I think last year, 2 years ago, whatever, second year TV lab, when we had to shadow someone, I shadowed Corwin as well from TSN. And, a big thing that he said was like, content is content. As long as you're creating content, you're still experimenting, you're still learning, and that's what's most important. And I think like that even plays to here, like with the Spotlight. Like, yes, it's kind of fun. Like we don't really take ourselves too seriously, but we're still kind of creating content. We're creating like kind of goofy videos, but we're still having fun, still doing stuff. And I think that that's really important because this program, it can get like very competitive, very like, even sometimes I catch myself, you see what other people are doing and you're like, man, like I'm a little bit jealous. Like I wish I had this, I got this opportunity, or I did this. And I think it's just important just to remember, just to kind of, everyone's on their own path here, and don't forget to like have fun in the program. Like don't take everything too seriously,
Yeah.
I
Also,
want to. Oh, sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no, you go. You go.
I was just. Are you gonna wrap up the spotlight segment, or are you gonna keep going?
I was gonna keep talking about the spotlight.
Okay, I want to keep
Let's
talking about
go.
the spotlight
Okay.
because I want to know who came up with the idea to do the celebrity comparisons with each of your guests, and
Great
why
question.
did you do Therese so dirty? That was
So
What was Therese?
Therese
was,
is the short woman from The Incredibles who makes
she's
the outfit.
Edna Mode.
Edna, yes. You did her
Are
so
we-
dirty.
Are
Wait.
we lying though?
I'm just gonna
No,
scroll through the
it's-
Instagram and see this.
It's almost like a running joke that like Therese just brands herself as that. She's like, I'm Edna, like it's whatever. So when we did that, it wasn't like we were trying to roast her. Like it's like she's accepted that. She's like, yeah, it's whatever. It's kind of jokes, it's funny. But the celebrity thing, it started off with our very first guests, which were shout out Jelani and Emil. They were our first guests. And we were trying to figure out a way to like promo them. We're like, I feel like we should do something kind of fun. We didn't want to just say like we have these two people on. Like, let's do something interesting. And Therese found this photo of Jelani, and she's like, he had like the turtleneck and like the chain and like the jean pants. And Therese was like, oh my God, wait, this looks exactly like that one photo of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Here's
we were
the
like,
photo.
yes.
There you go.
And we were like, we have to do something about this, like celebrity lookalikes, because I think Emil, he posted like some TikTok, and there's like this TikToker that looks exactly like him. And we're like, this is perfect. This is what we have to do. And then it kind of just took off. Like every time we brought on guests, we're like, okay, we have to find celebrity lookalikes for them because it's just kind of funny. And yeah, we just kind of kept going on. I mean, with some of them, it's been a little bit difficult to try and find people, but it's a lot of fun.
Who is the toughest?
Definitely Simon was the
Simon?
toughest, as weird as it sounds, because I think the one that we have for him, which was Tom Hiddleston, like that one photo side by side, it looks pretty similar, right? But we struggled so hard with him because first off, I feel like there's not that many like people that have like kind of the orangish, like reddish kind of hair, you know what I mean? And then like also finding people that were like relevant celebrities that people knew who this person was. We struggled so hard with him. And like I think in a couple of his photos, like we looked on photos from Instagram, he kind of looks different in like different photos. So like you could find a good photo and then you're like, I think this guy works. But then when you put it beside the photo, you're like, this is terrible. It's not working. Like we struggled so hard. It took us like a couple of days to figure out who was Simon. I'm not even joking. It took a while.
That leads on to my next question. How long does it take to figure them out?
See, with some, it's pretty easy. Like, I think Nigel's like that was pretty easy. Like that was just something that I don't know, like Therese or Sam just kind of like quickly like came up. They're like, yeah, this is exactly it. Like, so sometimes it takes, doesn't really take that much time, like 30 minutes, whatever, however long. But the longest was definitely Nigel, like over a couple of days. Because even like Jelani's, that was fast. Emil's, that was fast. Yeah. Milan's, that was the fastest. Because I had a conversation with Milan one time, and he was telling me how people always think he's James McAvoy, and he hates it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And we had to use it. I was like, no, this is happening. Yeah. Milan's is probably one of the best. Milan's is one of the best.
That's all right. It's all right. James McAvoy not having hair makes it a little tough.
Yeah.
But I get it. The Skylar one is really good. With Kelly Oubre. Yeah. That's crazy. We will link the Spotlight's Instagram below. I'm really making Aiden do work this week. But I highly recommend scrolling through the feed because it's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know who runs your socials.
I was just gonna say.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, how do you guys split up the work? Like, I know you all kind of host it, but like, who does the social media? Because like, so many of these edits, they feel like they take super long to edit. And some of them are like half an hour's long videos. So like the export must take long too. I gotta say, I remember that.
Which was your favorite?
Oh, which one was the favorite? Well, the one that sticks out to me because it was removed from Instagram so many times.
Oh.
The High School Musical one with your face on Troy. Or was it Troy?
That
Yeah. Was it Troy or was
on
it on
Gabriella.
Gabriella? It was on Gabriella.
Gabriella.
Yeah.
That was not supposed to happen. We weren't gonna make that video, but I can't even remember how it came about. But we were just like, hey, this could be kind of funny. Like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Because I think whoever was editing that the episode before at the time were like, oh my god, like we mentioned Zac Efron like every single video, or like that's Kayla says that in every single debate. That like whatever, that's her answer, something about that. And then we were like, I literally don't even know how it came about. Like we were just like, let's do this scene and just post it.
It was
and
great. Yeah.
I just remember recording that at like 10 p.m. and my mom being like, who is singing? Can you please stop? It's so loud. I'm like, I'm sorry, you don't understand. I have to do this. But yeah, but in terms of like how we divvy up the work, basically it's typically like it used to be like me, Sam, or Alex would kind of edit the highlights. Alex has kind of started doing some as well now, just because like I've been busy with work, or Therese also is really busy. So yeah, in terms of like the episodes, we all kind of like share that work in with editing that. Like the Bumble video, Sam edited that one. I think Alex edited the last episode that we did, like the actual show episode. So we all kind of share it evenly. There's not really someone that kind of takes on more than the others.
What were you going to say before we cut you off?
Yeah, no, she's going to ask which one was our favorite, I think.
Oh,
or yeah, I was just asking which one kind of sticks out.
I was going to say something else about the High School Musical clip. I forget now.
Oh goodness.
While you think of that, I will ask you, do you have any people in mind in the program who you haven't had on, maybe like a preview of a potential interview and the potential celebrity look like?
Oh, haven't thought about the celebrity lookalikes. We do have, I guess I'll drop a little promo. We do have a big crossover episode coming soon. Coming in 2 weeks, I may add. 2 weeks, a big crossover episode.
Oh, I know what it is for sure. Oh, okay. Can I even say? Well, yes. I don't know. Is it Northside Talks?
Yeah. Yes, I will drop it now. It is Northside Talks. There's a big crossover episode coming about. But I think for this week, the guests that we do have, I won't say who it is yet, but I will say who the celebrity lookalike is. I might have to find a picture because I've never found anything more spot on than this. And when you see this picture, you tell me if you recognize who who the actual like person from our program is. Like I really hope that you can see it.
Have you thought of your High School Musical thing yet?
Yeah. Just give me one.
It's gonna say like it was deleted so many times from Instagram. I'll wait till Kayla finds it.
Oh my god, what was this guy's
I think we need to do more of that stuff. Like you and I on this show. Like we need to promo who we're having on. Because when was the last time we used our Instagram account?
So long ago.
It's been months.
Oh, months. It's been like a year, man. It's been so long.
Guys got a promo. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just gonna try and quickly see. If I can't, then I'll have to send it afterwards. But it's just so spot on. Oh my goodness.
Which celebrity is it?
Oh, it's this guy from the Maze Runner. And it's
God.
Have you guys seen that movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm not even gonna get into that movie.
It's this it's the guy from Maze Runner 3. He's like the oldish guy. He has like long, like blondish hair. Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen that one. I've only seen parts of the first
Maze
one.
Runner 3.
I can't remember his name right now.
Wait, older guy?
It's an older guy.
You know his character name?
No, that's why I'm struggling so hard right now. Oh my goodness, this is gonna kill me because it looks exactly like the specific person in our program.
I'm scrolling through the actors right now.
Oh,
old.
Don't know.
I found it.
James Dashner? No,
I found it. I found it. 1 second. Let me just show this picture. 1 second. Please tell me. Oh wait. Okay, it's this guy.
Oh my gosh. Well, the first name that came to my mind was Jacob, but I don't think it's Jacob.
Oh no.
No.
There was one picture. Oh, maybe this one. Come on.
I don't know.
Who has long hair in our program?
It's been so long since we've
Yeah,
seen
you know,
people. Everybody
it's
shaved their
been a
heads.
minute.
No. Okay, Thomas West.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I need a
Thomas.
Okay.
I need to find the better side by side photo because there was one that is literally Thomas. Like when you see it, it's literally Thomas. It might help if you see this side by side because when you just see someone, you're kind of like, I don't know.
No, you're right. I can see it now.
What's the
kinda.
guy from? Oh my god. What's her name? The Australian guy who was in that Disney show based in the music studio or the music store. Am I the
Oh,
Life with Allie? Is it
Austin
that?
and Ally?
Austin and Ally.
Austin and Allie. Austin in like a beach movie. I feel like that is Thomas because
Teen
he's
beach
the
movie?
yeah. He's like the ultimate surfer dude.
I feel
Oh,
like
that's a good reference, but it doesn't look like him.
I feel like he doesn't. It doesn't look like the vibe is similar. I feel like, but side by side, like when we were doing Ethan, that was also a struggle. Ethan was tough. Ethan Pogue, because I found so I don't know if you guys have watched Shameless before, but the person that we compared him to, exact same vibe as Ethan Pogue, exact same vibe, but we just couldn't find a picture that was like, you know, side by side. They don't necessarily like look like each other, but like the vibe was just so strong that we had to pick it and be like, yeah, okay, whatever, we're just gonna do this photo because there was no one else that we could find that he looked like.
When I think of Thomas, I think of Chris Hemsworth, and that kind of looks
Okay,
like
we can't be doing
right?
him like we can't be gassing him up like this.
That's true.
No,
you're
you
right.
know who-
That's
Oh my
a
goodness.
huge compliment.
But Fat Thor. Thomas but Fat Thor
Oh my
ignoring the weight. Because he
No.
has like the beard.
Yeah,
He's got the scruffy beard, still got the
Yeah.
long hair.
I'll give it to him. Yeah.
Maybe.
I
don't
think
know.
I don't
just
know
this
if that's
one
like a-
picture. Just this one picture looks like him, I think. With like the hair slicked back.
Hopefully
I
Thomas
feel
never
like
sees
you
this
gotta
because-
search up the Maze Runner guy. His name's Barry
Right.
Pepper.
Okay.
Barry
He
Pepper.
looks like Thomas. I think he looks a lot like Tom. Like I don't know. This photo to me just screams Thomas. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
know
bad.
why.
I see it now. I do see it now. It was hard to see it at
Right?
first, but yeah.
Like it just screams Thomas to me. I
Oh,
don't
was
know.
she in?
If you look at some of the other pictures though, like doesn't really look like Thomas. like
Yeah, you
like
need
this
like
one.
the okay, yeah. you need like
Yeah,
the right
Yeah.
photo, you know?
Need the right era. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if somebody from Vikings would be a good fit.
Mm.
I don't know if you've ever seen
Uh,
that.
No,
It's
I
a thing.
haven't seen that.
Okay, it's the
I know.
thing that Brent Burns and Josh Donaldson
Right, yeah.
appeared in,
Josh
the
Johnson.
TV
yeah.
show.
Oh.
That might because he gives off Viking vibes, kind of.
He kind of does. You're right. He does. I'll have to check that out.
Who knows?
That's a good
I
one,
think
though.
that one's a good one either way, though. I love those. Those are unreal. The celebrity comparisons, they're great.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Who was
High
the
School
initial
Mu-
person who came up with that?
yeah.
I think the celebrity, like the side by sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me and Therese when we were trying to figure out how to promo Jelani and Emil, and then it kind of worked out because like I remembered like Emil had that like that's the look-alike from TikTok, and we were like, how can we make this work? And then Jelani just happened to just fall into our hands with that photo, and we were like, okay, here we go. And then yeah, it just kind of we were crying laughing when we made the Jelani post because it was just so funny. Like we were so excited to post that because it was just perfect. Like sometimes I look back at it now and I'm like, I still laugh because I'm like, it's so good, like so iconic.
Do you let the guests know before you post the photo? Or do you just post it and
no
post like
warning?
any random photo of them as well? Or do you ask for permission or no?
I don't know how to answer this.
No.
No, okay. Sometimes we do ask. We do like I'll tell them beforehand. I'll be like, hey, we've made like the celebrity look-alike thing. Like, do you want me to tell you who it is now, or do you want it to be a surprise? And a lot of the time they're like, just make it a surprise. It's whatever. In terms of the photos that we get from them, sometimes we do not tell them which photo we're using of themselves, but sometimes you know, I think with like Nigel or Emil, like I asked them if they had any photos that they wanted specifically for us to use for this. So yeah, sometimes we do ask, sometimes we don't. It's kind of hit or miss, 50-50 chance. I don't know what you're like. I feel like maybe we should be asking. I don't know.
Probably. Have you ever asked anyone for other pictures? Like, for instance, they just don't have any pictures on Instagram or Facebook or whatever?
Yeah, I mean that happened with Nigel. Like, I don't really think there were any. I think because we had, especially with him, we had the celebrity in mind. Like we knew what celebrity we wanted, and there was a specific picture that we're like, we need to make this work. But there was no photos like on his Instagram that like worked at all. And so I asked her, I was like, can you send like a photo that like is kind of this vibe, like, you know, wearing like a hat or like, I don't know what he was wearing, but yeah, a hat or something. And he was like, okay. So he sent a photo, and then that still didn't really work. But Sam had remembered that he was in one of her like TV like production shows, and he did like some intro video, and she was like, this works perfectly. So the struggle of me trying to screenshot like a good moment in a video where he's not like, you know, looking funny or like his mouth is open, whatever, to post as the side by side. So his side by side, if you look at it, it's a little bit suspicious, but it's all right. But that was like, yeah, definitely one of the one times like I had to ask, like, can you send another photo, please? Because this is not working.
Right.
God,
Yeah. I don't know about you, Connor, but I've just been thinking, like, who is my celebrity lookalike now?
I have
Yeah.
nobody. Nobody looks like me.
No one.
There was
You
when I
say that
used
and then come on the
The
spotlight.
spotlight
You
has
might
you,
find
yeah.
one.
when I was younger, like 13 and under, I used to have really long curly hair because I have curly hair. And there was a picture of, I think it was Keanu Reeves, it might not have been, in a meme that kind of looked like, I don't know why he had long fuzzy hair too. I think it might have been somebody else, but it was vaguely similar simply because the hair.
Huh.
But you could use me because I've appeared in a movie, but that doesn't really count. Aiden,
Younger you, yeah.
younger me, like 8-year-old me. Who would Aiden be? Now you've got me thinking.
Nah, let's not get into it right now. It's a long conversation.
When I
That's
was
true.
growing up, do you guys remember the show like I'm Daniel Cook?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was like a girl version, I'm Emily Young, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Growing up, I literally looked like her. Like that was me. I had the exact same like weird like
You're
bangs,
right.
but like
You're
haircut
right.
like that. Yeah, people on my street used to call me Emily Young like all the time. Like I literally looked like her. It was wild.
That's facts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you search up, like that's me, like when I was growing up.
Is that who you used, or did you use someone else?
No, for when we did our side by sides, I think I did like Haley Steinfeld or something.
Yes, you
I've
used
honestly
Seinfeld.
I've gotten like very weird celebrity lookalikes before that I just don't see at all. Like I think my mom's coworkers have said like to her like, "Oh my god, like Demi Lovato or like Selena Gomez," and I'm like, I don't know what you're seeing, but that's not what I see in the mirror. Like, okay,
Maybe young Demi Lovato, like Camp Rock days.
maybe.
Maybe.
I need
I
like
don't
the
know.
side by
Like the
side because
bangs like down to here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Camp Rock. I can
I
see
don't know.
Emily.
Sam's
Young,
is unreal. The Emma Chamberlain comparison.
Alex's
That
is
is
perfect.
or Alex, sorry. Or yeah, Alex. That is nuts.
It's so funny because
They're identical.
it's not only do they look alike, but the vibe is just like the way that they carry themselves is just exactly the same. Like Alex might hate that we're saying this or that we chose Emma Chamberlain for her, but she's literally Emma Chamberlain. Like just the chaotic energy that she brings is Emma Chamberlain. Like the hair constantly in the messy bun. Like, come on, it's like you can't say it's not.
That was
Wow.
We've gone
It's
very deep
perfect.
into celebrity lookalikes.
No, it's like an hour conversation just on the spotlight. We
Yeah,
knew it was going to be a big
exactly.
conversation, but not this big. We topped
Yeah.
ourselves, guys.
We did. We've outdone
Never
ourselves.
know.
Because, well, we're trying to stay on the fun topics for as long as possible, I think, is probably what's going on.
Yeah.
Because we do have to talk about sports. And by sports, I mean one sport, and get your hot take on one opinion. But before we transition off of that, I just want to say all of Kayla's stuff will be in the description. Her website, her over the line contact page thing, whatever, her over the line page, Spotlight, her YouTube channel, all that stuff will be down below. Twitter with her 10,000 tweets if you want to spend hours of your life scrolling through those. But yeah, all that will be linked down below. Let's talk some hockey.
Oh boy.
Yes. So I feel like we need to start 10 and a half minutes into the first period. Ben Sherratt hits John Tavares, falls to the ice as he's rolling over to get up. Corey Perry knees him in the head. It was one of the worst things I've seen live at a sports game. It's not quite at the level of I think it was Brian Campbell and Clinton Malarchuk incidents, if you remember those.
Mhm.
The blank stares, the people who had
no.
their necks cut.
Oh yeah, I remember the Brian Campbell one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Clinton Malarchuk. You don't remember that?
If I see a video,
Yeah,
I
if you see it,
probably
yeah.
like will recognize
Yeah.
it, but right now off the top of my head, I do not. I have like maybe a vague memory of that, but
He was Buffalo Sabres goalie in
Oh.
the 90s. Thankfully, his trainer was a Vietnam vet, a medic, so he was able to stop the bleeding. But that was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. And John Tavares' incident was right up there with him trying to get up. What were your first reactions when you saw the incident?
Well, at first I didn't see the full like extent to what the incident was. I just saw, he like hit and then he fell and I was like, "Oh, okay, what happened?" And then they're like, "John Tavares isn't getting up." And I'm like, "Oh no, what happened?" And then they show the full replay and you see like him with Perry and like they kind of bump and you see his neck just like go back and you're like I was like I literally had chills. I was like, this is not good at all." But the scariest part, like you said, is when he tried to get up and then it was like he couldn't control his head, like couldn't hold his head up at all and he just like fell backwards and I'm like, oh my, like that honestly, like I still like that's what I see in my head, just him trying to get up and then he can't and he's falling backwards and I'm like, that was terrifying. Just literal chills the whole time. But I think what kind of bothered me the most was I know a lot of people talked about this, was just how many replays of that hit that they were showing. And it was just like, we've seen it once. Like, I really don't want to see it again. And that, not that it was like, it's something that's really hard to watch, right? And like, I don't want to be seeing, like, I was like covering my eyes. I'm like, I don't want to watch this again. Like, yeah, it was just a really tough. And then when he was like bleeding from like his face or like, I don't know, it looks like close to his eye.
He cut his left eye, right eye.
Yeah, I was like,
It must have been from the
on
visor,
Perry's
I
knee.
guess.
Yeah.
Hitting the ice.
Yeah, because there was blood on the visor too.
I really, I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
It was really uncomfortable. Like, I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, I think like for the replay thing, like I think like what is there to show us so many times? Like we saw it once, like it's not like it's a reviewed goal or anything. Like we don't have to be seeing like it so many times over and over again. Like show it to us once just because we want to see what happened.
Yeah.
That's it. Maybe show 2 different angles. That's it. Don't show it.
Yeah, that's
as
the
many
thing. They
times
were
as you did.
showing different angles. They were showing close-ups. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't need to see this.
Yeah.
There's ways to talk about this and without having to visually show it to us like 50 times. Because they showed it when the play happened. Then they show it at the break. Then they're showing it, in the post-game, whatever, showing it a bunch of times too. I'm like, oh my goodness, how many times are we gonna watch this? Like, I don't know. It just didn't really feel right either. The fact that they were doing that, like, I don't know if it's some type of ethics. Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel right to me at all that they were showing it so many times, at least.
Yeah.
I think the crew did a good job of it. I just think they did way too many replays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the big thing. Like you show it once coming back in the intermission to give people who are just tuning in a bit of context.
Yeah.
Show a couple times afterwards in slow-mo, trying to show that it's not intentional. Because there was absolutely no intent involved in that.
Oh, yeah.
There was nothing Perry could do.
No.
It was
right there. He just skated right at him.
And
yeah.
What did you
like,
yeah.
What did you think about the fight between Foligno and Perry? But I'll add a bit of context to this because I don't know if either of you have read it, but The Athletic put out a few stories over the last sort of 12 hours, I guess 24 hours, highlighting in, I believe it was James Myrtle's piece, that nobody in the arena was showing any replays. So nobody knew what happened.
Oh.
They just saw Tavares on the ice in a lot of distress. In addition, they also said it was a terrifying sound because he was incoherent while trying to get up and was fighting to try to get up and all of that stuff. So with that added context of nobody really knew what happened, what were your thoughts on Foligno going after Perry?
My initial thoughts were, I mean, I kind of saw it coming in a weird way. Like, I feel like it's just part of hockey culture or code for that to happen, and that's just how they kind of end a situation like that. Even like the fight, I didn't really think too much of it. I don't know. Like, I saw a lot of people really upset about the fight. It was not intentional. Like, why are you starting a fight? Like, this is classless or whatever. I don't know. From my perspective, like, I didn't really think too much into that. Like, I just saw it as part of, like, unfortunately, like, that's just kind of what happens. And he was defending his teammate, like his captain's on the ground, like, and like you said, like, if they didn't see the replays or whatever, like, they don't know that, so he's just defending his teammate and his captain. Yeah, what did you guys think?
Yeah. Well, just jumping back, I guess, to like the injury in the first place. Like, I didn't see it at first either. My dad, I don't know how he caught it, but my dad saw it, and he was just like telling me, because like they panned over to the other side of the rink, obviously, but he's saying like Tavares is down, and then they blow the whistle. Then they go over to him, and like he's not moving at all. Like, he's in a really weird position. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh no. And then like as a Leafs fan, like, so many questions start going through my head. Like first of all, I guess just the anticipation for this series, right? Like, the opportunity that the Leafs have to potentially win a playoff series, then maybe even make it out of the second round, maybe go to the Eastern Conference Final. There's so much hype for this game. And also, we had like a week off, right? Everybody's hyped up for this game. And then 10 minutes into the game, it's over. It could be over. Like, it's a big blow to our season, that's for sure. And yeah, just like him falling back, like, that was so scary to see. And I think the medical staff did a good job handling it. But it's just tough because it's so unfortunate to happen so soon. As for the fight, I don't really have too big of a problem with it. Like, Foligno even said afterwards, like, he knows that it wasn't intentional. It was an accident, but that's our captain, and you just injured him. Even though you didn't mean to do it, he's hurt. He got taken off on a stretcher, and he thought that it was a way to kind of just end things right there and get his team back into the game and refocused and back in hockey mode. Did he really have to do it? No, because Perry's intention was not there. It wasn't like a hit from behind, a headshot. Well, it was a headshot, but like, it was an accident. He didn't, like, it wasn't a shoulder to the head, like the Kadri one, for example, like that, right? Foligno didn't need to go after him, but he did. Did it work out? No, it didn't work out. The Leafs let in the first goal of the game anyways. They didn't look good after that. But honestly, I don't really have a big problem with Foligno sticking up and trying to stir something up and get his team back in the game. Yeah. What about you, Connor?
Well, I think my thoughts were made a little clear when I brought up the fact that nobody saw the replays. And I think at first I was like, really? Like, why are we doing this? Like, I get you want to defend your teammate. I get you want retribution and, the code and all that. And we can debate how stupid that is at another time. But I think hearing that they didn't see any replays, I really understand it, because imagine if it was intentional. What would the conversation be today if nobody on the Leafs had stood up for Tavares? It would be Twitter. You wouldn't be able to go on Twitter. Like, it would be nuclear right now. And I think, while in hindsight, it's like, oh, really? At the time, it made sense. And it put everything behind everyone. Like, the fighting, people claim it gives a boost to the team, but if really it gives a boost for like maybe a shift. And I think just getting that boost for one shift, I think that's helpful, because nobody was feeling good after that. Like, I don't know if either of you watched Corey Perry's press conference after the game, but he looked dejected. Like, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
It didn't look good.
Matthews was like about to cry on the bench.
Exactly.
Like, he was like shaking his head. Like, also, I guess just like with the whole fight thing as well, and maybe on the side of, like, I can see where people are coming from. Like, it was a bad idea to do it. What if in that fight, Nick Foligno like knocked out Corey Perry. Like you're in a
Exactly.
fight. Like you're like a fight is with intent to not in is it really intent to injure? Like do you want to have something violent happen to someone else right after a super scary situation? That's also the other
No,
side to it, right? Like what if someone
Foligno
got
held
hurt?
up.
No,
Foligno
you're
held
right. It
up.
wasn't
Like,
like a full on like brawl, but like what if, right?
yeah,
It's risky.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, kind of like what Connor said. I feel like going into it, like he wasn't intent to like destroy him there. It was
Yeah.
just kind of like, sorry guy, like, but this has to kind of happen. Yeah, I don't but if he did like, absolutely destroy like that, Twitter would it'd be rough place to be looking into.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want
Yeah.
to be on Twitter.
Yeah, and on top of that, like with Perry accepting the fight, it was either accept the fight or get chased around the ice for the next
Yeah.
50 minutes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it sort of pushed everything out of the way, and everybody could try to move on as much as you can move on after seeing that, which I've had a bad feeling the entire night. Like I'm sure both of you were the same. Like it just
Yeah.
didn't really feel right.
It's carried
Uh,
over till today, honestly. Like I
I
don't feel
couldn't
good.
even I couldn't even pay attention when that game was happening, like after Tavares and when he left the ice. I was like, I can't even pay attention to this game right now. I don't know how they are playing. Like
Yeah.
I can't even imagine like how they feel. And like even like Spezza and Thornton, who are like right there with Tavares, like trying to, I think Spezza said like he was trying to calm him down, like talk, like you're right in the middle of it and you're trying to help them. Like I can't even imagine like going from a situation like that just to be expected to play like 5-10 minutes later. Like
And
yeah.
jumping off of that, Spezza said today or last night, or Tavares or somebody said today, that the reason Spezza was in there was Thornton recognized his voice and was picking his voice out from
Tavares.
Tavares. Who did I say? Did I say
Thornton.
Taves?
Thornton.
Oh, Thornton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tavares was picking out Spezza's voice, and he was basically there trying to calm him down because obviously Tavares is not in a good way at that time. So I want to give a lot of credit to him because the veterans were right there. All
Yeah.
entire Leafs came off the bench. Perry acknowledging it. Overall, an entirely really, really tough situation. What I do want to ask, though, because obviously there's a game tomorrow night, all the focus is still on Tavares. But as a hockey team, as a player on the Toronto Maple Leafs, how do you rebound from watching that to trying to avoid going 2-0 down in a very physical, fast-paced series against a playoff-built team? How do you try to rebound from that?
I'm not even really sure. Like,
you want to take this one?
No, you can go ahead.
No, like I think like the guys said it best today in their press conferences. Like John Tavares wants them to win. They're gonna do it for him. That's like in the playoffs. Like we always hear about, like teams go through adversity all the time, and injuries happen. A series slips away. You lose a couple games in a row. Can you battle back from it? The Leafs lost on the scoreboard. They also lost their second line center, their captain, the third best player, and a very valuable leader in the locker room. But they obviously know that the only way for Tavares really to come back with this team is that the Leafs move on and win. And Tavares doesn't want anything less than the Leafs to win a playoff round. And I think that's what every single member of the Toronto Maple Leafs is going to try and do for him tomorrow night. I think they're going to come out flying tomorrow. I think they're going to be great. Like going back to what Kayla said, like it was tough to watch right after the Tavares injury, like the rest of the game. Like when Anderson scored that goal on Campbell, I was like, yeah, I expected that. Like the Leafs have no energy. Like I wasn't even mad at them. Like I was just still sad at what happened. Like how do you battle back? And the fact that they only lost that game 2-1 with that shorthanded goal, like they're going to come out flying, I think, tomorrow night. Because they're going to do it for JT. That's the saying now, right? Win it for JT.
Yeah, I think they just have to like reshift their focus, and like now in a weird way, like they have a reason to like you have something to fight for and like a reason to want to win this game, like on top of obviously like you want to win this series, but now you have an extra that like added reason as to why, like, you got to play hard and you got to do it for JT, right? So Yeah, honestly though, like I can't even imagine like how they're feeling right now, because it's even like for myself, just as like a viewer, it's still so tough. But at least it's like nice to know like he had that statement out recently, right? Where he was like,
Mhm.
I'm home and I'm doing better. So at least there's like a positive upside to it, that he's doing better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of shifting, I guess, to the Montreal side of things. The Leafs didn't lose based off of a lack of opportunity. They lost because Carey Price stood on his head.
Oh,
Does the fact that Price played that well worry you going into the rest of the series, or do you think this was potentially just a one-off?
it worries me a little bit, especially like playoff carry. Like I cannot have this. But also because of the fact like our power play and I can't. Like the power play is just abysmal. I don't know what is happening there. Like it's literally a power kill. Like we have the power play, but we're on the penalty kill. I swear. Like
Yeah,
that's what
shorthanded
it is.
goal, exactly.
And it doesn't make sense. Like for the amount of people that we have in that power play, we should be generating like a ton of chances and testing Carey Price, but they definitely are not doing it enough. And then when we do, Carey's just standing on his head. And yeah, I don't know, man. It does make me a little bit nervous.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like, I mean, they had chances, like,
Yeah.
especially early on in the game. Like, there was a ton of chances that they had. And, like the power play to end the first period and carrying over to the second, that was really good. But that was it. Like, the power play just got worse as the game went along. And, like, that empty net situation near the end where they also had a power play, they had nothing going there. Like Austin Matthews, great season, unbelievable season. Rocket Richard, he played great, I think, up until that last shift. Like he had like two like really bad dump ins, like into
Okay,
the
in
Montreal.
fairness, the guy had been on the ice for 3.5 minutes.
That's true.
That's true. You're right,
Your brain
and it
isn't
did lead.
exactly working at that point.
It did lead to a
Can't
scoring
even-
opportunity as well. But yeah, I guess I'm not gonna pick on Matthews. That's my guy. Sure, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. What was the question? Montreal, am I scared about Carey Price?
Yes.
Yes, I'm scared because it's Carey Price, and look what he
Yeah.
did to the Penguins last year. And like, if he keeps this up, then we could get Korpisalo'd again, right? Like this is the same thing that happened against Columbus last year. But I do trust the Leafs offense. Like, we should win this series. We should win this series. But then again, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Don't jinx it. Like I have, as bad as it sounds, I have zero trust in this team. Like I want to trust them, but I just have zero trust in them.
That's called being a Leafs fan.
Dude,
yeah,
like,
that's
I don't know
how
why,
I live
but
my life now.
I can just see like, I don't want to say, but like Montreal is like the team that we lose to. Like the way that Montreal plays, like their physicality, and like
Yeah, that's the
we
thing,
should win
like-
this series, but it's the Leafs and it's the playoffs, and we've never won a playoff series in the Matthews era, right? That's what I keep telling people. I'm not going to get my hopes up for this team until we win a playoff round.
We haven't won a playoff series since before the lockout in 2004.
Mhm.
So, look, I'm not as low as you two on them. I think they're still going to win this series. The Leafs outplayed the Habs.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You're not going to have many of those Paul Byron, whatever that goal was after getting tackled by Sandin. You have him do that 100 times. He misses on 99 of them.
Yeah.
So I think the Leafs have more talent. I think they are a better team. And I think the power play will figure it out because they looked pretty good last night, apart from
so.
Put Bogosian in front of the net.
I hope so.
pull the Bruins in 2013.
Yeah. Just screen Carey Price. Put Bogo and Wayne Simmons in front of the net, and then it's over. Just
Game
Matthews
over.
being up
I want to hear your
one-timer.
predictions for the series, actually. Do you think Bogo stays in? Or do you think we see someone like Dermott come in instead?
No.
Do you think Sandin stays for the entire series?
I think especially with like how aggressive this game is, like how physical it is, like all the hits, like you need someone like Bogosian in there, because otherwise, like, not that we're like a very soft team, but like we don't, as you can see from last game, like we don't hit that much. I feel like you need some like, I don't know, grizzled like aggressiveness in there just to kind of be able to bounce back against the Habs who are like, really, really hitting us.
I agree with that. Yeah, I was so happy with Keefe when he benched Dermott Because like I've been campaigning for that since like the start of the season.
hate.
Like Sandine is better, I think. Like everybody's blaming Sandine for how slow he was on the Byron. Like he was also out there for a long time there. But no, I agree with Kayla. Like you need that physicality and also just the leadership on the bench. Like he just won a Stanley Cup last year. He's a veteran, tougher guy. I don't think he comes out. If they were to take someone out, it would probably be Sandine. I don't see them moving. It's really a big identity shift if you take out Bogosian.
All right. And what are your predictions for the rest of the series? I want games. So who wins this series, basically? What do you think the final result is?
The Leafs, like okay, the Leafs have to win. Like they are winning this series. I think they're going to pull it together in the next couple games and, do it for JT. In terms of how many games, I'm just praying it doesn't go to 6 because I really just don't want them to be in Montreal with the fans in there. That makes me a little worried. I don't know.
That's game 6, though. That's game 6.
I know it's far away, but it makes me a little nervous. But I'm praying like 5 games. I'm praying.
It's also 2,500, so it's not exactly a full arena.
I mean, it's not like wild. It's not like in the States where they're like packed, and it makes a huge difference. But I don't know. I feel like it does definitely make a little bit of a difference.
Look, I really don't.
I don't know.
I really don't want to make a prediction here because I'm nervous with what I'm going to say. I will say, and I don't know if this is a hot take, I think the Leafs win both games in Montreal. I think they win games 3 and game 4. I feel like there's some pressure taken off because the Leafs go on a road. It's a business trip. They're only focused on hockey. They're away from all that stuff that happened with Tavares in some way. They can just focus on hockey. And normally when teams go to an away stadium, there's fans, right? And you think that the other team would have home ice advantage. There's no fans now in Montreal for games 3 and 4. I think they can just focus on hockey. I think they win those 2 games. I also think they win tomorrow night. So I think they will be up 3-1 in the series. I would love for them to reverse sweep and end it in 5. I don't know. It seems like that's too easy, though, for the Leafs, right? It's the Leafs we're talking about. I don't know. I don't want to say it. It might go to 7. Might go to 7.
It could, and
that'd be the
you
worst
remember
thing
what
ever.
That's like expected though, like on brand for us to go to 7. Like whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, we have to win that game. Can't lose.
We can hope and dream.
Well, let's say 5 or 6 though. I think before the series started, I said Leafs in 6.
All right. Leafs in 6, and I will go with. I'm going Leafs in 5 because I think they bounce back. And keep in mind, Carey Price probably won't play every game because games 3 and 4 are back-to-back.
That's very true.
So you'll likely get Anderson and Campbell and Allen and Price in some sort of combination. But we've been talking for quite a while, so I want to wrap up on this one topic because you tweeted about it recently. Soccer. You mentioned you played it. What is your take and your justification for who is better, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo? Aiden, you've seen Messi play. Yes.
Yeah. Back when I was 8 years old.
I saw Ronaldo in Toronto.
You saw Ronaldo?
Because his United came and played the MLS All-Stars when they were in Toronto. I don't remember any of it because I was like 8, but again, Cristiano Ronaldo versus Lionel Messi. Kayla, what is your take?
Oh boy. I mean, I am a big Messi fan, so I definitely think it's Messi over Ronaldo. I can appreciate and respect what Ronaldo does. Like this guy, in terms of how many goals he scores, like he kills the game. Like he is really good. Like obviously he deserves everything, all the respect, whatever. For me, I think Messi is just an overall just better player. I think Ronaldo, he's good at what he does. He's a good shooter. But Messi, in terms of, he's a good playmaker. He's a good playmaker. He also scores, I don't know. I feel like my justification is just so bad because it's also a little bit biased because I've just been a fan of him since I was like super young. But yeah, I don't know. I just appreciate a lot more of what he does. I think he's done a lot for Barcelona and even for Argentina when he played with them as well, for the World Cup. Yeah, I might need to think a little bit more of what else to add to my justification, because I feel like it's a little bit weak, a little bit biased. But I'd like to hear what our good Messi fan here, Aiden, has to say.
That's hilarious. I don't know what to say. Like, I guess I just agree with everything Kayla said. Like, from what the highlights that I've seen, Ronaldo is more of like a striker, right? Like he's got a great shot. Messi is better with the footwork and all of that stuff. Yeah.
I will add, Cristiano Ronaldo has been a winger for most of his career.
Okay. I can't talk on this. Honestly, I cannot talk on this because I don't know these players. I don't like.
Yeah, I know.
In my eyes, Ronaldo is like the Ovechkin and Messi is like the Crosby. I don't know if that's
fair.
And I'm sorry, my dad's blending something upstairs, so it's kind of loud. I don't know if he can hear it.
It's okay. My mom came in and asked me what I wanted for dinner. So this has been a good podcast so far.
I do say that's a fair comparison that you made.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of.
Like yeah.
Ronaldo has more trophies in different leagues. Okay. He's won in the Premier League. He's won in La Liga and Italy as well. Also the Champions League and the Euros, which, well, Messi can't win that because he's Argentinian, but he's won that giant award. Messi has won Spain multiple times. He's won the Champions League, and he's never won the what do they call it? The South American tournament. I'm blanking on the name right now. Aiden, you don't even try to think. You have no idea what it is.
I'm sorry, boss, for trying there.
If I don't know what it is, you don't know.
Yes, I know.
There's a reason we don't talk about soccer on this podcast. But yeah, that debate is going to go on forever. And obviously Messi side, I don't blame you. Same with, if you're a Ronaldo fanboy, we don't blame you. Please don't go at it in our comments, even though we don't get any. Without further ado, though, I believe that is it, because we got to do hot takes, obviously, which we didn't tell Kayla about again. Okay. Yeah. So we're really on the ball again with this podcast. But quickly before we end, because we're not touching on baseball, basketball, football, the other football at all. At the end of each show, we do a segment called Hot Takes, where we give a hot take or a crazy opinion on anything in the world of sports. In the past, back when the pandemic was sort of cooling down a little bit from the first wave, I said the MLB would be the first league back. They were the last league back. Whereas Aiden predicted 2 weeks before Babcock was fired, he'd get fired in the next 2 weeks. So some of us are very correct, and some of us are unbelievably incorrect. Aiden, do you have a hot take prepared?
I think so.
You think so? Good. You go first, because I don't have one.
It's not finalized, but I'm going to say it, and hopefully by the time I finish saying it, it's finalized.
That's how I go through life. Like, I don't know where I'm going with it. I just talk. Like, if you couldn't tell, I just talk. I'm like, I don't know where I'm taking this.
Isn't that everybody, though?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how hot this is, because we don't know the severity of the injury, but I think John Tavares will be back by the 3rd round of the playoffs.
That's a hot take, just because it's predicting the Leafs will make it to the 3rd round.
That is true. Exactly. That's a 2-1. Exactly.
That was an unintentional hot take that was hotter than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, we don't know the severity. It's just out indefinitely right now.
It's a concussion. So
it's a concussion.
Yeah.
Those vary. It could be a couple weeks. It could be months. It could be worse than that. Let's hope it's short term. And yeah, I was going to say hotter. You know what? Screw it. He wins the Conn Smythe. That's the hottest take.
That's a very hot take.
Just one-upping yourself every time.
Wins. Okay, if he doesn't win the Conn Smythe, because that's there's no chance that happens. But say Matthews wins it. I'm going that's saying the Leafs win the cup. What am I doing right now?
You're long gone.
I'm all over the place. Just go ahead, Kayla. I'm sorry. I
Oh
completely
my
threw that up.
goodness.
Do you
Put me
have
on the
one? I can
spot
come
here.
up with one on the spot.
I mean, the only like one I have right now is like Leafs winning the cup. Like it's gonna happen. Like
Okay.
plan the parade, guys. Well, don't plan the
When's
plan the parade,
parade?
but plan the parade
Plan
for
the
like a couple
boat
years from
parade.
now.
Plan the
Yeah,
boat parade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Pull
like that.
both Tampa teams, which they
Yeah.
definitely should end it on those, but that's completely it's Florida. My final hot take. Masai Ujiri resigns with the Toronto Raptors, and Kyle Lowry, English is hard, resigns with the Toronto Raptors on a 3-year, $15 million per season
Ooh.
deal with the Raptors, bringing him to his age 38 season.
Damn.
So
Very
I don't know how
specific.
hot that is, but
Yeah, that is very specific.
very specific.
But it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Sounds more and more like Masai is going to stay, but he hasn't even talked to ownership yet, so who knows? Without further ado, though, Kayla, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the 2 hours out of your day to record this podcast. We will link all of her things down below. Her 10,000 tweets, not individually. Because,
Please don't look at all of them.
Yeah. Her website, Over the Line, everything and anything you want to find on her from my research and the spotlight. Go and check out this summer series because it's an unbelievable concept and absolutely hysterical.
Thank you.
But yeah, Kayla, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll be back at some point in the near future.
Yes.
Next week, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month from now. We have no idea. But keep an eye on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Hit that bell, I think, if we
hit the bell. Turn
the
post
bell for
notifications
notifications.
Like,
on.
comment,
Yeah.
and subscribe.
Absolutely.
There you go.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
Steve Dangle.
Share the video with your friends.
Yeah,
We're trying to top Therese's video. That's
Yes.
nothing against
A
Therese.
large feat there.
No.
Oh my
It's-
goodness.
It's a tough feat
Lot of
considering
pressure.
most of our download or watches are in the single digits, and she put up 3. So we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Maybe if we
It's a
use
slow
social
and
media
steady
more.
climb.
Slow and steady.
Yeah.
Slow and steady, even though we've been doing this for a year. But it is what it is. We have fun.
The grind is real.
Yes, grind is real. If you want to check out some more of my stuff, check out the MLS Multiplex podcast and my stuff over at MLS Multiplex. Check out the Staff and Graph podcast. We put out an episode literally 2 hours ago because I was editing that just before we came and hosted this. Check out Aiden Unlimited with her Kayla's episode, even though that was a little while ago, and his Twitter, even though he doesn't use it, and he should.
Here, check out Unlimited. I'm doing Leafs reactions after every single playoff game. And check out Singing with Martina. We are singing the national anthem.
Can I just ask, what is that? Like,
it's the creepiest thing on the face of the planet.
Or is it not with her? Like, does she
not
know
with
about
her?
this? Like,
she knows about it.
She knows
about it.
She's already filed restraining order against both of them.
Like, you just sing the national anthem when she's singing? Is that what this is?
Yeah. So like ever since she started singing the anthem, my friend and I, we think she's great. Like, she's one of the best anthem singers in sports. And like, we just would always record ourselves just singing the anthem with her and doing like the like at the end, right? So we're just like, you know what? It's a pandemic. We gotta have some fun with it. Let's just make an account of us singing it with her.
Connor hates it here.
I hate it. I hate it.
Connor doesn't even
I was
follow
against
back.
it the second he told me about it.
Connor doesn't even follow the account.
Because it's so creepy.
How is it creepy? She commented, she said, "I love this" on the very first one.
Has she followed you?
No, she wouldn't
Has
follow.
Has she liked any of them?
Yeah, she liked the finale one. There's the blender again, if you can hear it.
This is so interesting. So interesting.
Yeah, so if you want
so
if you
many comments, so many questions, so many concerns. Like,
yes, a lot of questions.
Okay.
A lot of questions. Mostly questions.
Yes.
And one big concern about him. But that's another topic for another
different
day.
Problem.
Yeah, when we do just ourselves, when we've run out of people to do, I will roast you to hell and back. For whatever that is, to try to get your
pathetic, man.
It is not pathetic. This is a normal human being's response.
We're just singing the national anthem, like.
Just
Hey, you do you, man. It's
you do you. When you're
Is
30
it
years
2 on
old,
1 here? Oh
when
no.
you're
Oh
30
no.
years old or however old you are when you get married, I will make sure I get to your wedding and I play
Yes.
every single one of those in order, and that is the first song that you have to dance to.
You know, that's a compliment, I think.
All
I'll
right.
follow the account. Don't worry, you'll get some love. Don't worry.
All right, there we go. See, Kayla likes
I'll
this
be-
thing.
Congratulations, you gained one more follower and one more restraining order that Trina has to file.
Oh boy.
But on that high note and on that bombshell, as Jeremy
it.
Clarkson likes to say, we bid you farewell. We will see you whenever we upload the next podcast. Peace.